episode 237 of the PSNation podcast. The audio is going to be a little bit different this week, folks, because we have a very, very special guest from across the pond, and we're going to introduce him first, Mr. Stewart Gilray of Just Add Water. Thanks for staying up so late, sir.
That's okay. Anytime.
And you're going to stay with us for the whole show this time, huh?
Well, unless I fall asleep first, yeah.
You might. It's pretty late for you. So, along with myself, I'm Glenn. We've got Josh and Joel along with us. Josh, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah. How's it going over there?
Oh, it's going excellent.
And Joel? How's that sexy voice?
I'm going to go with excellent.
I'm
That's
super.
what Josh just said. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Life
NHL
is
season
awesome.
started, so that's excellent now.
Yeah.
That's right. Now that the Phillies are out of the playoffs, you got to find something to watch, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got the Eagles to watch. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Hey, what did I tell you at the start of the season?
I don't know.
I said I'm going to wait until they win something, and then I'll believe that they're a good team.
Yeah, well, they don't even believe they're a good team anymore after Vic.
Exactly.
Well, we're not a dream team. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Any dogs I can kill? Anyway, so, Stewart, for those that don't really know who you are, because, we get new listeners every now and then, and
you do?
It's actually been a little while since, well, I like to believe that at least, in my own little world. I was figuring maybe you could kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're so important to us.
Important? I'm not important.
Well, but you're fun to talk to.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's see. I'm the CEO of Just Add Water. We made Gravity Crash for PS3 and PSP a couple of years back. In fact, it's almost 2 years since PS3 came out, which is scary. So it's almost been 2 years since I've known you guys, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apart from back then, it wasn't Josh and Joel, it was Mark and you, so...
Who? What?
I don't know, some cheese-eating guy, I don't know.
Yeah, that must have sucked.
But yeah, so that's me. I did that 2 years ago with my team of guys, and now we've kind of got a bit bigger. There's more of us with bigger office space, and we're working on Oddworld. Right now, we're just literally finishing up the next couple of weeks on Stranger's Wrath HD for PS3, and a month or so after that, we're finishing up on Munch is Odyssey HD for PS3, and also doing launch beta versions for both games.
That is awesome.
And then other Oddworld things as well.
Cool. Well, I'm sure they'll come up eventually here because you let us have a build of Stranger's Wrath a couple of weeks ago, so we'll be talking about that, I'm sure. And so and you can. Oh, I forgot to do this. If you want to find these guys out on Twitter, Joel's at 5SpotJoel. Josh is at PJFJosh, and Stewart's a bunch of places, but you can find him at Stewart Gilray as one word, or at what is it, JAW Limited. JAW LTD?
LTD.
Yeah, that's right. But there's two of us that doing that. It's myself and our office studio coordinator, community guy, Will. He does it also. So,
in other words, you're bitch.
Yeah.
He pretty much just still does whatever you want him to do.
He likes to think so. And, and he's right. He does.
Nice. Well, we kept the...
It's quite weird, actually, because he only joined us on the beginning of August, okay? Until that point, it felt like an office full of kids fooling around. Not in that sense, in the sense that we just do work and have fun too much, And when Will joined us, we've actually started to do things properly, like proper paperwork and holiday forms and stuff, and sick forms and shit.
Oh, wow.
It's been really enlightening. It's quite good, actually. So
yeah, you're becoming a corporate overlord now.
Of course, yeah. I don't know how that goes down in the States. It goes down quite well in the UK, though.
So, for those that have never heard a show where Stewart comes on to talk to us, we purposely kept the agenda pretty light tonight because we seem to get off on a lot of tangents with Stewart. So, we're talking...
Good?
I think it's good. The literal ton of new releases we're getting this week or this next week. Maybe one news item. We're talking a little bit about it, which I thought Stewart would actually be kind of interested in this. What we're playing, Josh is going to review a couple of old Sega Dreamcast games that are on the PSN now, Sega Bass Fishing and Space Channel Part 2. Space Channel 5
Seriously?
Part 2. Jesus.
They're on PSN?
Yeah, they're up on PSN.
No, not in Europe yet.
Well, it's Europe. Who really cares?
We do.
A couple of emails, and we'll be talking a lot of Extra Life because that's coming up this weekend, finally. So we're going to kick into the new releases with Joel and Stewart. Just jump right in wherever. I always do. Right, Joel?
Oh, you guys never interrupt me. No, this list needs interrupting. It's too damn long just to read straightforward.
That's what she... Well, two of them are actually
Holy crap.
moved to November.
Yeah, we've got some big ones next week, though. One that we're all super excited about, Batman Arkham City.
Next week.
Finally coming out next week. Yeah.
I can't wait. I saw the commercial for it, and I just started shaking a little. I had goosebumps.
It's quite funny because I know a couple of guys at Rocksteady in the UK, so I've been speaking to one of them for like 8 months now, and he kept telling me when they were doing their submission process, and he with a little joke on Twitter, and he kept saying to me, "Not on vacation yet, not on vacation yet. I'm on vacation." So I knew exactly when they went to bed with it, and the thing was done and it was approved, and it's like, no, I have to wait another X weeks to play it. Damn you, fool!
For the huge Batman nerd that I am just so excited after the first game. So.
I can beat you on the Batman nerdish level. When I was a younger programmer, I used to be in the Atari ST demo programming scene, along with Christoph at Naughty Dog. Actually, we used to be in different demo scene groups, but we used to know each other. Nice. My handle was the Caped Crusader.
Nice.
So yeah, geek embarrassment all in one go. Hey, excellent. Carry on, sorry. There you go. That tangent's finished now. Move on.
Oh, no. We'll have plenty more.
Well, Batman Arkham Asylum was such an awesome game. So, Batman nerd or not, this is going to be a good game. Because it's one of the few superhero titles that's actually a good game to boot. Not just a thinly veiled superhero game.
So good that it's been copied a couple times at least.
Yeah. Another game I hope is going to be as good. Ratchet and Clank All for One. That is, of course, a cooperative title that Stewart is very much looking forward to.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Well, wasn't Bill in that beta that came out, Joel?
He was. Yeah, he was in the beta, and he seemed fairly pleased with the experience. So
it's online co-op.
Yeah. Well, no, and you can be on the couch or online, and it's drop in, drop out.
All right. I missed that somewhere, and I thought about it today, and I was thinking, that has to be online.
That's why they had the beta. They wanted to test the servers and everything. And then if you're playing single player, because they have a single player component, quote unquote, you only have one partner, and that partner's AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I love the Ratchet and Clank game, so I trust that that's going to be good.
I think it will be. They put a lot of work into that. I played it at GDC. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it looked pretty good there. Yeah. I like co-op. I like Ratchet and Clank. So far, so good.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hey?
The Japanese can get involved.
Oh,
let's see. No voice chat. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Oh. Oops. Don't.
Should we make a list of things that could go wrong, or should we go on to the next game?
I've got one last thing to say on it, and this is because the guy who did the audio for it, Michael Brose, he's the Oddworld audio guy as well. So he did all the Strangers Rap audio back in the day, and Munch, and he will be doing the Abe music audio as well next. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you mean he did like the original?
Yeah, on the original Xbox audio on Stranger and on Munch.
Oh wow!
So he's we've been speaking on and off for about 6 months. He kept saying, "So when are we starting Abe? When are we starting Abe?" I'm like, "Yeah, when we've done Stranger. When's that? When it's done." So I did. Because then Michael said to me, "So look, I've just got a gig to do the Ratchet and Clank stuff. Will you need me anytime soon?" I said, "Nah, I do Ratchet and Clank, and we'll come back." So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a tie in there to us. Sorry.
That's really. I didn't realize that you had pretty much the original guy doing the audio on this one. That's really neat.
Well, we took the original audio, the original uncompressed audio, and recreated an F mod with our own sound guy here because Michael was busy. And also we didn't have to create anything new. It was just converting to a new system. So it wouldn't have been worth Michael's time for me to come back and do that because the audio was so good in the first place. So yeah,
definitely. Very cool.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
So,
little trivia for all of you out there.
Yeah, there you go. I'll be quiet now. I'm ruining your show already.
That's why we had you on.
Sorry.
Well, this next game probably doesn't need voiceover. Rocksmith Guitar. This is the game that actually lets you plug into or play with a real guitar versus that fake piece of crap plastic one that the Rock Band folks are trying to sell you.
The gimmick one?
Yeah, the one that feels so awkward, even though it's meant to feel like it's teaching you something. But this you can buy it with a guitar for like $100, or you apparently can use your own guitar. Now, I haven't tried this, but I'd like to. So if you want to send us one.
Oh, is that a hint, Joel?
My address is. Yes, it is. The guys at the retail stores around town have been talking this one up. Every time anybody's in there talking like Guitar Hero or Rock Band, which are obviously like dinosaurs now because nobody wants to stock those things anymore. All of a sudden, you hear the retail guys come out from behind the counter. Well, Rocksmith is going to be with a real guitar. And
oh boy, they've been pimping that game like crazy. I mean, they had that big trailer sitting out at E3, and they had a big ass like pavilion for it at PAX too last year. So yeah, they've been really pushing that one.
I'm speaking out of turn when I say don't forget that Rock Band 3 had a pro mode with real guitars.
Well, the problem is the real guitar. That's the one that Joel was talking about. That real guitar you could finally buy from him is pretty cheaply made.
Yeah, the real guitar, Stewart, is a real guitar where they cut out the neck and inserted a piece of plastic where the fretboard should be.
But that's sort of the makeshift one. Can't you? I thought
no. That's the
actual.
No. It's reversed to that, Josh. You can take this guitar and plug it into an amp and use it as a real guitar.
Yeah, you can take the Rock Band Pro guitar and plug it into a USB amp and play it, or through a computer play it that way.
Okay, I thought it was a real guitar with proper strings and frets and everything. Okay.
Yeah, it does. It does have strings. It does have frets. It's just the frets are plastic.
All right.
Which, as a guitar player, I'm sure you understand, is no good. It's no good at all.
It kind of gets in the way and will rip a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's very flimsily made. So, needless to say, I was quite disappointed. This allows you to play a real guitar. Now, how well they pulled it off, I don't know. So, I guess the verdict is still out. But
I'll buy that for $1.
It's got some good stuff on it: Nirvana, Radiohead, Rolling Stones, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots.
Any Rush?
Huh?
No Rush.
I think doesn't Guitar Hero kind of have the rights to them for like a year or something?
No, don't even go there.
I'm being serious.
I know
They were in Guitar Hero.
Got some stuff too.
Yeah, that Warriors of Rock thing. They had that whole album.
Well, the Rock Band's got the Vault editions, which are like what, rough cuts or something.
Well, no, Rock Band has also got full version moving pictures.
Yes, it does.
It's also they just released subdivisions for Rock Band back in May, I think it was.
Yeah, because I
May,
bought
June.
it. Yeah.
So it's as far as I know, there's no exclusives. I mean, I got a lot of my friends are friends of the management there, so I could ask them to find out. But I'm pretty sure there's no exclusivity to whatever product. So I'll find out.
Interesting.
I thought they were exclusive to Just Dance.
That's it. There you go. I can see Gad, Alex, and Neil give it. Hey, man.
I want to see all the hippie ass dancing to like Closer to the Heart, and
I see Kenny Lee doing like some X-Spins and a worm. That'd be really cool. Speaking of which, Everybody Dance comes out next week for real. So anyway, and National Geographic Challenge, the trivia game with all sorts of interesting knowledge to uncrack.
You know what I try? You know what I forgot to load up is that cricket sound.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me see if that. No, he's not. Anyway. The 1 week we need him, the cricket is not here in my house.
Yeah, no kidding.
For a moment there, I thought you'd gone all English on me and talk about the game of cricket. What? I thought, oh no, you mean the small insect.
That'd be much better.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't.
Speaking of which, next week we also got The Sims 3 Pet which I'm not sure if it allows you to have cricket, but it may. We also have Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine.
I'm sure that's going to be awesome at $30.
That's a great title.
Anything with an engine, like
Anything with an engine, like popsicle sticks and turnips.
I'm wondering if they have motorized bar stools.
Ooh.
Just wondering.
All right, so we've hit that point in the life cycle, the lifespan of the PS3, where the really crappy shovelware is just coming along all at a high pace.
I would prefer to think that the really crappy shovelware is going to the 360 because it's been around longer, and they just decided to port it to the PS3.
Maybe that's why independent developers are now getting ticked off with Microsoft, because a lot of them have been this past couple of weeks complaining about the 360 launch process for independent developers now.
Yeah, I've seen some of that, but then like this, I think there were a couple studios that came out and said they love Microsoft and they've been real easy to deal with, and I don't know.
All right.
The only thing I've got against Sony is this sort of area is that Microsoft have a, when you deal with whatever territory you're dealing with, you still deal with Microsoft as a whole. When you deal with Sony, you deal with Europe, Japan, and the States separately.
Right.
You know, so that's the only bugbear I have with Sony. You know, aside from that, you know, they're now starting to get their online developer presence basically collaborated. So it's like the websites you have for Europe, you now have the exact same equivalents for the US, where up till about 6 months ago you didn't. There were entirely different websites and processes, even different names for the websites too. So, but now that's all combining into, you know, TPRnet for America, TPRnet for Europe. So that has been a major plus for us.
But
yeah,
now, all right,
I don't know.
I'm going to open this can of worms here.
Uh-oh.
Didn't you have some kind of problem, or what happened with Stranger's Wrath and XBLA?
Hey, right. Well, actually, it's quite good you brought this up, because I've been dealing with Microsoft for what month? We're October now, aren't we? Okay, so since the end of August last year, trying to get Stranger on there and Munch on there. We first spoke to them about doing the HD version, taking it at the same time as PSN was going to take it. And they said, okay, fill all this paperwork in. We'd love the game. Show us what you're doing with the visuals. So we did all that stuff. We sent the paperwork to them, and it took them almost 10 weeks to turn around and say to us, no. And that put us at Christmas. And then, you know, Lorne Lanning and I started talking to them. He sent some mails to some guys he knows fairly well higher up there than the guys I know. And they came back and said, what do you mean we're not taking it? Of course we're taking it. We'll take everything you guys do. Yeah, not a problem at all. Roll forward 4 months to April, or 5 months to April this year. And they went, no again. And it's all to different things and different reasons. The main reason we couldn't go on XBLA is to get on XBLA, you have to publish discs at retail to self-publish on XBLA, okay? Or you have to be published by Microsoft Game Studios. Or you have to be published by a proper publisher like EA or somebody who already has disc products at retail on 360.
Right.
You know, the fact now that Oddworld is now entirely self-owned, the IP is self-owned, there's no rights or shares with EA or Microsoft, it's entirely owned by Oddworld. So we fall into the category of being a self-publishing entity. But because we've not ourselves published on disc at retail with Microsoft on Xbox One or Xbox 360, we don't apply to this rule of you must have published at retail first. And then the XBLA thing as well, the 2 gigabyte limit for the way the XBLA system works. Now, as you know, Glenn, Stranger right now is sitting at 3 gigabytes.
Yeah, right.
Granted, there's like 600 megabytes of extras on there, but
wow,
you know, it wouldn't have fitted. You know, then they said, okay, we went back to them and said, look, tell you what, let's forget the HD versions. Let's try and get the original Xbox One versions of the games on there.
Oh yeah, and they won't do that. Well,
no, they did. They took Munch and Stranger looked at it and said, well, Stranger doesn't work on the emulator for 360 or Xbox One on 360.
Yeah,
because of the way that. Yeah. So, and also they said we're not going to be updating that system anymore, so we can't offer compatibility. And I said, well, what's the choices we have now? So there's one choice you have left for self-publishing, and that's the games on demand route. And to do that, you have to have an HD game. Okay, we're doing that. It's fine. You have to have gamer score and achievements. Yeah, we're doing that. Okay, already. It's not a problem. And then they said, well, okay, you have to sell for like $20 or something. I said, well, no, we're selling it like $12 to $15. We're not going to sell it $20. And then they said, well, okay, we can live with that one. Oh, but you've also got to have sold more than 1 million units at retail. And you could hear tumbleweed go by and crickets and shit. Considering you published Munch, you know how many units that sold? Yes. Yeah. So you think we can get publishing games demand? No, exactly. So it's been like pulling teeth. There's been continual letdown after letdown. I know a lot of people say to us, "Why are we PlayStation exclusive?" I think I said to you guys before, we're not. We see it now as Oddworld is a platform agnostic company. Yeah. We'll look at any platform. We're not loyal per se to any particular company. But when we're constantly getting screwed over by Microsoft and told no, it's out of our hands, guys. We can't do anything about it. So if any Xbox people out there are listening to this, no, it's not our fault. It is 100% Microsoft's feet. And Lauren and I are still talking to them, trying to get them to not bend or break the rules, but to give us benefit of the doubt and say, look, the games were published by you guys on disc on Xbox. Why can't we use that publishing route and then become self-publishing? So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's not over yet, but it's looking less and less unlikely as weeks go by that we won't be on 360 at all for these two games, or maybe even not at all for the 8 games, because unless they allow us to go with it, then it ain't going to happen either. So
I think that's best, Stuart.
Yeah. Speaking as a lifelong PlayStation supporter, I agree. But at the same time, though, as a businessman, I've got to look at what's going to be best for us in the future. Yeah. For us to keep making new Oddworld games, we have to make revenue. Going forward, again, the same thing when we do PC and Mac stuff, because we're both doing some Mac versions of the games. But the PC versions, we're not going to release the PC versions at the same time as the console versions, just the same as everybody else is doing now, because publishers know that the PC market is saturated with piracy.
Yeah.
And you can just kiss goodbye to sales and revenue, which means you can't make any new games. So that's why a lot of publishers like Ubisoft, Activision stuff usually wait between 1 and 3 months before releasing PC versions of the games, so they can guarantee they're broken even and they made a little bit of profit. Then they release the PC versions, and when they get pirated to hell, they've already made the money. They don't need to say, okay, we should have sold 6 million, we only sold 3, and we're pirated 3 million times. It's not the end of the world, but they've still, it's not a great situation. I mean, someone challenged our piracy figures on Stranger, and the guy said to me, he said, well, PC piracy is not that bad, surely. And we found an in-depth survey or study into it, and this guy who put the study together had spoken to people at Activision, other people he knew about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1.
Right.
And it was sold to like 3.6 million on PC, but it was pirated 3.8 million times.
That's because people have LAN parties.
Yeah, so, and yes, okay, granted, some of those pirated versions would have turned into sales, but that's still a lot of units. And I know Activision don't need the money, but if you take the same mathematics to a small independent developer, it's worse for us than it is for Activision. We don't sell millions of units. We sell, maybe a couple 100,000 units if we're lucky. Sure. So when you take that number back and think how much it costs to develop and marketing stuff, that's why, independent guys can't publish on disc. It's impossible for us. It's like asking the bank manager for $1 million bank loan. It's not going to happen. So we have to do it on digital, and that's what we have to rely on. Shall we say less piracy if possible?
Sure. No, I mean, well, I guess on that same topic, and we were going to talk about this a little bit later. Well, we got one last new release. Do you want to say that?
Sorry.
Real quick? No.
Yeah. Yeah, and this one won't be shovelware. Ben 10 Galactic Racing.
By the way, Josh, we got an invite if you want to see that in New York City Comic Con next week.
Yeah, I might stop by. My schedule's packed, but
the PR guy for that game sends something like every other day.
I'll check it out. I'll walk by. I'm sure I'm going to pass it. I'll probably stop in and see it. But just
aren't you a Ben 10 fan too? So this could fit right into your bread basket.
Not so much. But the Microsoft thing always surprised me because I knew that there had been problems with that from the start, and it really kind of shocked me because Stranger's Wrath was an Xbox exclusive, and I remember seeing.
Well, actually, here's a little known fact: Stranger was meant to when Microsoft decided to pass on it, and EA took over. EAP said they were going to do a PS2 version of it in a similar way they did a PS3 version of Orange Box.
Oh,
they take somebody else's finished Xbox game and put it on PS2. And they were due to do that, but they decided at the last minute, not like quite last minute, the last couple of months before release, that they weren't going to do a PS2 version, and they kind of cut some of the marketing budget as well. For it in Europe especially. So the game definitely didn't do as well as everybody was hoping it would do. But I mean, this is not speaking out of turn to the guys back at Oddworld HQ, but, they were unfortunate in the situation that, when they released Munch, it's a launch title for Xbox One. And when they released Stranger, it was released 6 months prior to the 360 coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So people would already start saying, "Okay, I'm not going to buy any more Xbox games. I'm going to get rid of my."
In a realistic world, that should have still worked. But one thing that really killed a game like that came out so close before the 360 hit was the fact that Microsoft literally just dumped the Xbox once the 360 got close.
Oh yeah.
It was almost plausible deniability at that point with those guys like Xbox. I don't know what you're talking about. We got the 360 over here, but I don't know what you're talking about with the Xbox. Yeah. I mean, at least with the PS3, they pushed the PS2 still. They pushed it for a long time.
Well, they still are. I mean, you go to some parts of the world, you can't get PS3s really because they're either too expensive or they haven't released in that area. I mean, look at when did they release PS3 in Brazil? It was like a year ago or something?
Yeah, and the PS2 just hit like Argentina a year ago.
Yeah. And China now.
Yeah, well, you don't want to make it into a supercomputer that you can fire rockets with.
Exactly.
So Tibet will get it in 2 years then.
Yeah. So, I mean, on the same subject, you talk a little bit about trying to get across all platforms, and you also mentioned trying to do some stuff on the Vita. And we got some news today. I don't have the link. Our writers never sent it over, but apparently it looks like they're going to price things a little bit differently on the Vita in terms of if you get it on the PSN, it's going to be cheaper than it is as a retail copy, finally. So,
which makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been bitching about it for a long time, but I don't know if that's been kind of rolling around in your neck of the woods, and if you have any kind of opinion on that as well.
I honestly, hand on heart, we've not even spoken to Sony yet about pricing or even release dates yet. We've told them we're working on Munch, and we will work on Stranger soon. I mean, Munch is looking pretty good in the Vita, but we're just trying to get them done as soon as we can do. Mm-hmm. We're not even thinking about release dates. I mean, I know they've December 12th in Japan. Right now, we're not releasing the games in Japan, so we're not going to be releasing around that window. We're releasing around the European and US release windows. So we've still got whatever. What I think it's March, February, March. They're talking about now for the West.
That's been the rumor, but they haven't said anything specifically yet.
Well, again, we know nothing, which is ironic because we every time I do an interview or anything, or I get emails from press, it's like, have you heard anything about the February 15th release date or the February 28th or the March 12th? No, I have nothing at all. And that's not because Sony are being difficult. It's just that they've got to get Japan out first. They've got to get product for Japan. So our account managers, it's not their number one priority. If they can get a bunch of products ready for Japanese launch, then they'll have product for the Western launches as well. So it's not number one issue with them right now. So,
well, yeah, I mean, we were talking about before, and March actually kind of coincides with when they released the PSP as well. So That's why I think it's
PS3 in Europe as well in March too. So
yeah, there's 1,000. It's prices for Uncharted and Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Listed for Japan, and they're about 1,000 yen cheaper for downloads. So
which I'm going to have to try to do then. I'm going to have somebody buy me a bunch of yen cards. Because I don't have a way to do it with a credit card because they actually check addresses.
Why don't you just? Oh, do they? Okay. Why don't you just check with Dylan and see if he can get you some stuff?
Ooh, I never thought of that. Yeah, because Martin's actually he's the one that went over and pre-ordered my Vita for me at a shop where he goes, and he's going to pick everything up for me and send it over. So.
Oh, so you don't have one yet?
What? Oh, you bastard! I know you have one already. Shut up.
4.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, you can afford to.
Actually, that's not true. The Stranger Team's got 4. Munch Team's got 2.
So we're going to be flying over to your place and crashing in on your couch for a week so we can check it all out.
Trust me, the dev kit versions are nothing like the retail in terms of how the machines function. So.
No, I think what you mean is the Stranger Team has 3.
Cough, cough. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty nice to actually see that's been set in Japan already. So it's roughly when you kind of equate it out for a full size game, it looks like it's about $15 cheaper on PSN. I think is that right? Because I was only glancing at it at work today, so I don't know if you guys read the email yet.
I think it's roughly $10.
$10.
I mean, it all depends.
It makes so much sense.
You've got Japan pricing. There's no U.S. pricing has been announced yet, so nobody knows what it's going to be.
Actually, well, on the conversation of pricing between retail and same title on PSN, what has been the pricing of, say, Mass Effect 2 in the States? Because I know in Europe it came out at the exact same time on PSN as it was on disc.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's $60.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And what makes me really laugh is when this is kind of related but not too related. When the Mortal Kombat DLC came out in Europe, Sony were ripped a new one by the forum posters because they assumed that Sony fixed the pricing.
Yeah,
it's like, guys, no, Warner's do the pricing, nothing to do with Sony.
Yeah.
First you take our credit card information, you identity theft is, then you rip us off for this DLC. Well, no, that's that company.
Well, the bigger problem with those games hitting, those disc-based games getting to the PSN, a lot of times they'll come months after the actual retail release.
Yeah.
And at that point, the game, you can buy it from GameFly, you can buy it from Amazon, you can buy it all these places for about $20 cheaper than you can get it on the PSN.
Yeah.
Which just becomes pointless.
Bizarre.
You know? It's just really weird.
Which is what's also strange about that too is, and I hope I'm not letting any business information here, but when you manufacture for disc, you also have to pay Microsoft and Sony your licensing costs for manufacturing. When you do PSN and XBLA or Games on Demand, you don't. So you don't have that extra tier. I mean, I have to say the nice thing about Ubisoft in this regard, when they released the Assassin's Creed games this year on PSN, they were only like, well, 20 to 30 pounds, so what, $30 to $40, I guess?
Sure.
Compared to the full disc price. I mean, the retail price for the discs here was like £40, so it was like $60. And then PSN, they were like 15 cheaper, which is not a great difference, but it's that manufacturing cost taken out of the mix. So.
Yeah,
and that's why we always expected the stuff, to be a little bit cheaper on the PSN, and it never was.
Yeah, I think that's down to my main belief is that with the conversation we'll had it earlier and have again later, I guess, is about pricing and stuff. Is that there's this perceived value of what you're getting. I guess is a game, like Modern Warfare single player, 6 hours long.
If that.
Compared,
I think Modern Warfare 2 is 4.5 hours. Yeah.
And then you buy it for like $60 in the shops, or I think it's £50 here when it came out. So you spent £50 on a game, or $75 in the game, and if you don't want to play multiplayer, you still have to pay the same price as everybody else does. but you're only getting 5 hours of value from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every player wants to play multiplayer. I don't.
Like me.
So I do feel grievance that why do I have to pay the full whack?
Yeah.
You know, when I'm only using a third or half of the product.
True. But I mean, the thing is, nobody's buying Modern Warfare to play the single player. I'm sorry, but they're just not.
I am.
Oh, bullshit.
Stewart apparently
but
is.
Frankly, I wouldn't buy it anyway. 'Cause it's not my bag. But you know, when you get, I mean, an example I guess close to me is Uncharted 2. I played online for 2 minutes, okay, and realized it really isn't my thing. I don't do multiplayer online ever. It's just not my cup of tea. So why should I have to pay full price for a disc which I'm only going to play half the content?
Right.
Okay. I wonder if maybe the way going forward in the future should be is that a disc has the full content on it, but the multiplayer aspect is locked. So maybe you buy your disc for, I don't know, $20 less than you would do right now if it was a full thing. But if you want to play the online part, you spend $5 or $10 online to unlock the multiplayer content on the disc.
I would like that, personally.
That's not a bad idea.
Because you're saying nobody. I bought Modern Warfare and I played that online maybe for a total of 2 hours. You know, because I had friends that were constantly bugging me, let's play this. Modern Warfare 2, I never played online. I played the single player all the way through. I didn't play the multiplayer once.
And I never finished the single player Modern Warfare 2.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
That's kind of the point, I guess. It's horses for courses.
But,
yeah.
You know.
That's kind of the point, I guess. Why are publishers, and I guess in some respect I'm being a publisher, I'm guilty as well. Why do we force the public to spend the full cost on a title they're only maybe playing 50% of?
Because it depends on the game. I mean, let's look at our example here, Modern Warfare. That's going to sell no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. So they're going to be able to milk you for everything. They sell these map packs at $15 a piece, and they sell like crazy. They're setting all kinds of records with these new map packs on Black Ops. Modern Warfare 3 is coming with pretty much the exact same engine that they've been running the entire time. That's still based on the Quake 3 engine, and it's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Well, they even shove it right in your face, like the map pack. What's the map pack called? The stimulus package. Ha-ha. Because we're going to get a shitload more money from you.
Well, I think it is the perceived value that Stewart was talking about, but with a different twist. Ever since Xbox 360 launched, and hopefully we'll see this trend start to turn around, it became every single game needs multiplayer. So they would shoehorn some multiplayer in, even if it didn't even make any sense. So I think perceived value, at least here in the States, from what I can tell, is as much shit as is in the game, the better. So I want single player, I want multiplayer, I want co-op, I want trophies, I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
Custom soundtracks. I wish they would go back to what you were saying and just focus in on, if the game is meant to be a single player experience, don't shovel in some multiplayer. Just focus in on the single player. Maybe sell the multiplayer later, but that's not the case, unfortunately. They'd rather throw some crappy multiplayer in just to say they have it.
The big example today, I guess, is Uncharted, Modern Warfare, Rage, all these games in the past 18 months, 2 years. They've not only have they had like multiplayer aspects, single player aspects, they've actually had separate development teams inside the companies doing the different aspects.
Well,
so one team doing the single player.
Of that.
Yeah. And one company do multiplayer, one company doing single player. So it maybe it should be sold the same way as well. If you want the multiplayer version or you want to unlock it, then pay the extra money. If you don't want it, then you don't have to.
Yeah.
And they might find they actually make more money from it, because more people might want to play the single player game but pay $15 less than they would do having to pay the whole thing.
Yeah.
I get turned off I get turned off by being forced to buy a game that's got multiplayer with a large price tag, even though I know I'm never, ever, ever going to play the multiplayer.
Yeah, it should.
That's why when they came out and said Arkham City had no multiplayer, I was so happy.
Well, what's it gonna take for them to make that change? I mean, the games are still selling.
Yeah.
So if it's not broken, they're not going to fix it. They're still making money. I'm talking about the larger publishers now, specifically.
Activision,
Yeah,
it'll take.
they're not gonna give us anything. They're not gonna be like, well, I know this doesn't make sense, so we're gonna sell you the single player game for $30.
No,
I wish. It's just not gonna happen.
It's not going to be EA. It's not going to be Activision. It's going to be a smaller publisher.
Well, maybe then this is when they do digital releases. Maybe this is the time to just drop the price, and you might find that people who want the single player version of all things might buy the damn thing online for less dollars than they would do buying a disc version.
Well, but the problem with that is still going digital completely. Is that there are still a very big portion of people that own systems here in the U.S. that don't have connectivity.
Yeah, you're saying. You're still. We're still. That's why this whole on live and the cloud stuff makes me laugh, because I'd still say the infrastructure isn't there for mass contention for another 3-4 years at least.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of a joke here in the States, but I even have a friend of mine that's down in Brookfield in Milwaukee that has a PS3. He has full connectivity in the house, but he won't connect it to the network because he's paranoid about security and everything.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Steal his Call of Duty save file? Oh, shit. Yeah. My identity is destroyed. Somebody knows my trophy count.
We went over there, and he had the thing set up. I'm like, oh, you should get this. I'm like, what the hell, dude? You don't even have an account set up? Nope. I don't trust anybody with it. I'm like, what?
My cousin doesn't have the internet. He physically takes his PS3 to his parents' house to plug it in and download some demos every couple of weeks. Right. And that's it. He won't, because he doesn't want to pay for it.
How can you not have the internet?
Well, what's funny in the UK, there's some parts of the UK that the telephone exchanges don't have the hardware for broadband or ADSL. So what they've done is local communities in the smaller towns and villages have got together, put in their own money, and have had direct satellite internet feeds to their villages. As a result, they're getting like 20, 30 meg connections, and they're only paying $15, $20 for it. Well, we're paying for a 10 meg connection at something like $30.
Yeah.
But it's because they've got so fed up waiting for the telecom companies here to get off their asses and sort it out. They've done it themselves. They've got together, made a little company in their own little village, like smallvillage.com, or they've done it themselves. But
we have no clean water, but we have internet.
Hey, you say that. But yeah, seriously, it's almost like that aspect they've gone for themselves, because they know they can't get a decent connection over, say, like 256K, or in their area. So they've done it themselves using 3G of all things in some places, or satellite in other places. So I guess it's the same part in some parts of the States and Canada. There just isn't infrastructure to get proper fibre into the exchanges to get copper out to the houses with decent connections. So they kind of do it themselves. They get them sort out the problem themselves.
Right. I don't know. It's funny because I think a lot of people don't realize like connection rates and everything else, or even how many PS3s and 360s and whatnot are even hooked to the internet to begin with, and you see a lot of people talking about go digital completely because of the iPhone climate that we have. I got my iPhone. I was downloading an app, blah blah blah, and you even see a lot of people bitching about online pricing for games because they're so used to only paying like $1.99 for an iPhone app.
Yeah,
and they just can't get the difference in their mind.
Yeah, that's a prime example. But on the music side of things, if you go back 5 years ago, you'd buy a CD for $15. Okay, you can now buy the same album as MP3s on iTunes for like $7. Exactly. So the perceived value of the music has come down. So now CD sales are stalling, and they're not selling. So my worry is that console products, be it digital, be it retail, might be affected in the future where people are going, I bought Angry Birds for $2 or $1. Why should I pay $20 for, I think Nintendo have been a victim of that with the 3DS and its WiiWare store, or the 3DS store and stuff. They're selling things like $5, but you can get it for $1 on iPhone.
Oh, really? Well, the same with the PSP. You've got all the games that are on iPhone for a couple bucks, and they come to PS3 and they're $8, $9, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could go all night on this. Why don't we talk a little bit about, because you were kind of mentioning earlier that you guys kind of went on a kick with some other games, so we usually get to what we're playing here. I know you wanted to talk about a couple games too.
I did.
Well, we were talking about Crysis.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. It came out UK last week.
Yeah. Last
Wednesday. And I played it on the PC, on my old Steam-powered PC, whenever it came out before. And it was on. I could only run it at low settings at 20 frames a second. So I was like, okay, let's see how it works on PS3. I thought, oh, okay, let's take a look. And I thought, no, I'm not going to buy it. It's a little bit too expensive, I'm thinking. So it's like £16. What's that? $24, something like that. So I thought, I'm not going to buy it. I'll wait, I think. And then in the office, we're talking about technology and game engines and stuff. I thought, screw it, I'll buy it. So I went and bought Crysis. Now, I bought Crysis 2 because it was a follow-up to Crysis 1, and I liked the first bit of Crysis 1 when I played it on the tropical island. Sure. And I knew Crysis 2 is New York. I thought, it's not going to be the same, but it might be as good as. I didn't like Crysis 2 at all. So when I got Crysis 1, I thought, it's 15, it's not too expensive. What the hell? So I played it, and I've been addicted to the damn thing ever since. Even when you guys called me tonight, I was still playing the damn thing.
I just think, I have it too, and it's $20 here in the U.S. And I bought it because I played it on a buddy's PC for a while, and what annoyed me was on the PC you had to change your powers all the time. You had to keep pausing the game and change the powers, and they did simplify that quite a bit on the PS3 one, but there's still this weird, if you move too quickly, when you're looking around, there's this weird phasing that happens that kind of hurts my eyes, but it's just the shooting and everything just feels a little stiff in it still. It doesn't have that nice, I don't even know how to describe it, but if you play Resistance 3 or Killzone 3, or even, I don't even want to say Black Ops because that still has that stickiness to it, but it just has more, it doesn't have as much of an organic feel than some of these other shooters.
I have to say that I think compared to some other recent titles, even games in the past 18 months, the controls do feel a little bit sticky.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as a developer, I'm thinking, okay, I know why they're doing, why it's like that, and they could get a slap her in the head for being stupid. But it's one of those things where when you write a game engine and you write game stuff, wherever you put your control input systems into your game, there's places you can put it in your engine where you get no lag. The prime example is Infamous 2. Those guys moved the way that the controls work from one part of their engine to another part, and it's phenomenal. I mean, the sensitivity and directness of that when you play Infamous 2 is on the money. The rest of the game I'm a little bit wavy about, but the controls and the frame rate are absolutely on the money. Yeah. But with Crysis, it is a little laggy on the controls. But because it looks so damn nice, I can forgive it for that.
I don't know. I'm still going to play it, and I'm going to continue playing it, but it just doesn't have a good feel to me right now, and maybe it'll get better later on, but I'm really struggling with it.
I've just tonight done the bit when you get to the alien spaceship.
Oh, that's where the game falls apart.
Oh, actually, compared to the PC version, it's a lot better. Because one of the guys I know in the office was saying, when you get to the spaceship, you're going to hate it because the controls are all over the place, you don't know what's going on. Yeah. I think the console versions, they've put kind of, not quite on rails, but it tends to help you a little bit. If it thinks you're going the wrong way, it will artificially move the camera so you're going to go that way, or it'll pull you more towards it to go in. So compared to what I've been told, the PC version is it's a lot easier to play in that section. Mm-hmm. And I had no problem tonight at all. Only one part I got lost, and that was because you guys were on the phone talking to me. So it's what? Damn it. Oh yeah. When I started concentrating instead of talking, I did it okay. So
concentration's for suckers.
Yeah.
So you play anything else lately besides your own games?
Yes. Playing Rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No. Okay. Well, where to begin? I'm a fan of Carmack guys because I've been playing since Wolfenstein on the PC. I got Doom 1.9 when it first appeared, and it's like, oh, great, you know. And got Quake and Quake 2 and Quake 3, which is, I still think, their best game ever. We still play in the office today. At lunchtime, we play multiplayer for Quake 3. But when we got it on Friday, first thing we did was we loaded it up and started looking around this mega texture engine, and we all went, yeah, it sucks. It's just the fact that when you turn the camera, look at a wall, you can see the textures loading in and building up on the camera. It's like, oh,
and the bad
horrible.
part is when you walk out that first time you get outside, within 2 minutes of you starting the game, you see all the textures popping in the background, and you go, oh, really?
Well, if you do it quick enough, you can see them popping in the foreground and going out the way to the background.
Yeah.
But today, at lunchtime, I thought, I'll play Rage a little bit. So I fired it up on the test machine on my desk and started playing it. And if you don't think about it, if you don't start staring at the textures and start thinking about the technology, it plays quite well.
Yeah.
But it's, like I said earlier, it's not a story game in the sense of your Arkham Asylums or Assassin's Creed. It is literally a popcorn game.
Yeah.
You know, it's a classic FPS game. You know, if you're expecting miracles out of it, you're not going to get them. You know, if you think it's something you're going to sit back and kick off for a few hours and shoot some shit, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, here's my problem with it, because I'm an id fanatic, and right now I'm having a problem with it because I'm not just going through a bunch of hallways and you know, outdoor scenes and just blowing shit up like I usually like to do in an id game. I actually, you know, have missions to do and I have objectives and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, the missions are basically go to point A, come back to point B again.
I understand that, but I still have that shit to do.
You might replace them with. You might as well replace it with get the red key card and come back.
Well, but just give me a goddamn rocket launcher. Let me go to town.
Sorry.
You know, because it really seems like there's some RPG elements there with the crafting you have to do and everything else. Now, of course, it's really, really light, but it's taking me time to get used to it. And also, the melee is clunky as all hell. And
what you mean to hit somebody over the head with your gun button?
Yeah, but the problem is it doesn't knock anybody out the first time.
What really annoys me, I shot a guy 3 times in the head and he still came towards me.
Well, but that's an egg game. I mean, the only time you really see any one-shot kills is like on Quake 3 with the railgun. You know, you get him in the head, you'll take him out.
Dude. In the next part of the game I was playing today, I turned the corner of the shotgun and blew a head clean off.
Well, yeah. But you have to be so close to him.
Yeah, but still be consistent. You know, if I'm actually firing a round head and you see the blood coming out of the head in the hole there, you don't expect the guy to get up and run towards you.
Yeah.
Not in this day and age.
I just don't like the fact that they tell you, duck down, go down to your knees or whatever, you know, crouch, and try to sneak up on somebody so they won't hear you coming up. Well, if that's fine, but then I need a one-hit melee kill if I'm going to sneak up on a guy.
There is an element of today's gaming where...
Oh, yeah.
It seems that players have got a bit stupid, and we have to hold our hands for them. Yeah, lead them through. I mean, think back 10 years ago. Games still had live counters. You know, you had 3 lives and it was game over.
Yeah.
Today, thanks to GTA 3, you can die as many times as you want and just wake up again. I'm alive.
But that save system on Rage will kick your ass if you don't think about saving off in the old PC days.
40 minutes lost.
Yep. I lost about 25. Yep.
Yeah.
So, but it's gorgeous. I mean, that thing is locked 60 frames per second, and when it's good, it's really, really, really good.
Yeah, a friend of mine's does the Digital Foundry thing for Eurogamer, and he was doing an analysis of it this week, and saying that PS3 version, even though the physical resolution is locked at 1280 720, it drops to 640 720 sometimes.
Really?
It's to keep the performance up there. So when you look at some things, you see a lot of really square, big, huge pixels. Right. It's because it's shrunk the horizontal size by 50%.
Wow. I don't know. So far, I've been really impressed with it. I haven't seen any of that. So.
Oh yeah, you have. You wouldn't have dawned
I'd
on
notice.
You. Well, on your 50-inch TV, I guess.
Damn right. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just do it because we've already talked about 2 games on my list. The other ones I've talked about before, Sideway New York, which came out today. Great platformer. I'll be doing a full review of it next week, but buy it, seriously. It's really fun. Payday the Heist, I played some more of that, and I really can't wait to play that with actual people because I hate AI partners. I always have, I always will. And, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, later on in the show, but a lot more Stranger's Wrath on the PS3, so... Yeah, it's pretty... the thing is, it's because of Stranger's Wrath that I'm not done cleaning my house for this weekend. Just letting you know. Yeah, you asshole.
Oh, I like that. That's what I work. Bite me.
How dare you send me this game early to play?
As I said earlier off air, there's someone on the Oddworld Facebook page said, why are the guys from PSNation talking to you? Why have they got the Stranger? Because they don't like Oddworld. Fools.
Yeah, we really hate it.
We hate it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the disc-based versions, PS1 of the Oddworld games, and I don't also have the download versions as well on PSN. No, I don't have.
Aren't they like $2 or something?
They were free on PlayStation Plus, weren't they?
But I bought them before they were free on PlayStation Plus. I mean, I didn't buy them.
Thank you.
Because you hate it. Yeah.
Yes,
I like
exactly.
that. That's good.
Yeah.
And then I watched Fast 5. I bought the Blu-ray and watched it.
What?
It was pretty... the Fast and the Furious movies, the new one.
Oh, okay.
It was good. The Rock is good in it, man. He buffed up like crazy, but not enough car racing in it. I mean, it's a Fast and Furious movie. They're just... The last race was really cool, or the last big chase scene. It was utterly ridiculous, but it was cool to watch. But I thought there could be more car racing in this one. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Thanks for taking one for the team. I don't think you could pay me enough to watch that movie.
I really like the first one, even with Paul Walker. Because I think Paul Walker's one of the worst people in Hollywood for quote-unquote actors, because I think he's terrible.
No, there's much worse than Paul Walker.
Not much.
I'm not a big speed car guy, but I love those freaking movies for some reason.
And it's cool because they kind of peppered in...
I liked a lot.
Well, they peppered in a lot of stuff from the other movies, too. So it was kind of cool. But the Blu-ray was on sale at Best Buy. I like the movies overall, so I picked it up. And I don't regret it. So, and everything else has just been getting ready for Extra Life, so I'm in crunch time right now.
Crunch.
Yeah.
So here's a strange factoid for you.
Oh boy.
I'm going to be talking at an event in UK in November, and one of the other people there is Brendan McNamara.
Why do I know that name?
Team Bondi.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even letting in the country, but there you go.
Very interesting, because honestly, LA Noire is definitely on my Game of the Year list.
Seriously?
Love that game. Yeah, I love that game.
I would rather go fishing without bait than play that game again.
I think that there are a couple things that could have been fixed, but overall, I seriously absolutely loved it.
There's somebody else pointed out to me that the whole interrogation scene, unless you're a woman, you don't get it. You always read the signs wrong.
I agree. I'm terrible at interrogations.
Yeah.
What I know, if somebody starts looking away from you, that usually means they're guilty. They don't want to say anything to you. So I would see a character start looking away from him, like, "Oh, you're lying, you bastard." Yeah.
How many out of the interrogations you did in it? How many did you get right first time?
I'd say about half of them.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's the inner female coming out.
Well, no, I think I got about half of them because you don't really know what to do at first. You're kind of just playing along, so you miss out on a lot of those. And then there was one that I got every single one wrong, and the guy ran free, and he was actually guilty.
Yeah, that's my entire game.
No, but I love that period. I love what they did with the city and everything else. And
strange, I preferred Mafia 2 to L.A. Noire.
Wow. See, I really disagree with that, but I mean, Mafia 2 is good, but it's clunky.
It is definitely. But I just found the fact that they were making such a big thing of the facial animation system in L.A. Noire. I was expecting more than we actually got.
Well, I think that's system
that makes
limitations.
sense, Paul?
Yeah, but I think that's system limitations at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's it for me. So, I don't know. Josh or Joel want to fight over who wants to go next?
I'll go next, since I'm doing the reviews afterwards.
Yeah.
Did Namco Museum Essentials. I played Dig Dug.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's because actually my mom was up here and I went into PlayStation Home. Well,
Where?
I can't talk about. Well, I am under strict orders not to talk about why I was in PlayStation Home.
Oh.
Don't worry, I won't tell your ma.
Beta.
Yeah, I got that too, and I haven't gotten in yet.
Yeah. I can't talk about that. But she saw my character. I went in there because I was showing her some of the stuff, and she saw my character who's wearing the Dig Dug glasses and the hat, and she's like, what is that? And I was like, you remember that game? And I pulled it up. She's like, oh, yeah, I remember that game.
I thought the story was going in a totally different direction where you were going to show her the game and say, you remember this game, don't you? You never let me play this when I was a kid, Mom! I hate you! Now I can play whatever I want!
I had it on the Atari 50. I still have it on the Atari 5200, and she recognized it. Yeah. Some more NHL 12, of course.
No.
Yes. And created another new player. So I have a center out there.
Pretty soon it's going to be a team of Joshes.
Pretty much. That's where it's going.
Team Josh.
Yeah,
but the problem is Josh doesn't like playing with anybody else. So a team of Joshes would just be a bunch of dudes staying away from each other.
So what you're saying is Josh likes playing with a team of himself.
Exactly.
It's like a regular weekend for dude.
Yay!
Actually,
I wasn't going to say that you get Kleenex with that, but that's wrong.
That's in the special edition.
Hey!
Oh, boy.
I do like playing that one online, but no, I was just doing the Be a Pro mode, which is awesome on that game. Sega Bass Fishing, Space Channel 5 Part 2, obviously, those two, a lot. And Gran Turismo PSP.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That game's awesome on the PSP.
Yeah, I was sitting on the train.
I have to say, I've not even turned on my PSP in about a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's because you're in the future, Stuart.
No, it's because I got an iPad.
Really? You game on the iPad? Anything besides
TV
Angry Birds?
iPad.
Seriously?
I watch TV.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Another World.
Another World.
Yeah.
That's a soap opera over here.
No,
Seriously?
Another World.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, God. No.
The original flashback.
Oh, yeah.
Same guys as Flashback. People. Yeah. I also played Ridge Racer HD on the iPad.
Ridge what?
Ridge Racer!
There's a Ridge Racer for the iPad?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
no, I
so good.
iPad.
So good. It's got tracks from every single game. Go all the way back to the first one. Ridge Racer Revolution, Rage Racer Type 4, Ridge Racer 5 and 6 tracks. They're all in there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. It's freaking awesome.
Damn it,
don't
make me want an iPad. Hopefully they bring that out for Android.
The game costs $12 though, so I was like, shit.
Ew, yikes.
But it is worth it.
All right. Josh?
All right.
Sorry, carry on, Josh.
Yeah, playing, that was pretty much it. The only other thing I did was Saturday night down in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Yeah. I saw your
Jay
tweets.
and Silent Bob Get Old live.
Oh, cool.
Oh, dude, I'm totally jealous.
It was awesome. And tell them Steve Dave opened up with puppets. That was really awesome. And it was great because they came out in the dark and they tried to hide behind the table and they're holding the puppets up and they're doing and the puppets look great. And they're trying to do the puppets and they only lasted barely a minute. And they're like, we can't do this anymore. And they got up and had to put the puppets down. But they were on for maybe an hour or so. And then Kevin and Jay came out. And I don't know, it felt really long. It felt like almost a 2-hour show with them.
Wow.
I'm not sure. And then I went there's a bar nearby afterwards that a bunch of people went to, and we're all hanging out. But Kevin went back with Brian Johnson from Steve Dave. Those two went back to the office that they have over there by the comic book store, and they were in there for hours. And then Brian finally came out late because I was hanging out with his
Wait,
girlfriend.
did you stalk him?
No. I know I kind of know the guys.
They're like this.
I'm down there all the time. I've been on both podcasts. I was on Pucknuts and I was on Tell 'em Steve Dave. You know, they know me. They see me and they know me, and we're hanging out.
I know people.
We're talking. Yeah.
I've seen Clerks. You know me.
Hey.
No. I was just kind of hanging out, you know, just to talk to the guys and do whatever. And I ended up talking to Suzanne, which is Brian's girlfriend, because she was sitting there all alone. She's like, I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah." And we were talking because she remembered me. And she's like, "I'm just waiting for Brian. I just give him space because, you know, he hasn't seen Kevin in a while and they want to talk." And she was there all alone for like 3 hours. I was like, that sucks.
That's a serious fucking joint.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Josh is sitting there, and he starts talking about fixing her cable, and
Yeah, no. But it was, I mean, her and Quinn was there, and Ming Chen, and, you know. So everybody was just kind of hanging out, drinking, talking, whatever, for a couple hours.
Cool.
So that was it. But the shows were hilarious. I mean, they're both going to be on the Smodcast podcast downloads. The Jay and Silent Bob one, he gets into a lot of visuals. I filmed some of it. Some of the stuff he does is just absolutely hilarious. At one point, there was
We'll do a DVD. You always do DVDs.
They need to do a DVD. Because there was a moth flying around the stage, and it kept flying past them. And they were sort of ignoring it. And it kept flying behind him. And then one time it came right towards Jay, and he flew backwards out of his chair. Like, I thought he was going to hurt himself. Literally flew backwards out of his chair, jumped straight up, and started kicking and punching. And Kev was like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" He's like, "You all saw it. It was coming right at me." I'm not crazy.
Assassin moth.
Oh, I wish I had filmed that. That was so fucking funny.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm a bit of a Kevin Smith fan, so I tend to get all his gigs he does. Mm-hmm. You know, for his various birthday DVD special gigs he does and things like that. So I've got all of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
It was a good show. I mean, obviously it'll be one of the upcoming podcasts that'll be released, but it's really funny. It's nice because they really just spent the whole time talking about growing up in Red Bank. Because as he was driving back, he was writing stuff down on the drive down from Boston, and it just talked about all kinds of things that happened to them and got into all kinds of stuff. He said, because I had noticed some of this driving down there, all the times I drive down there. He said, driving down the one road, he's like, I see Bethany Street, and I see Dante tuxedos, and I'm thinking, boy, I'm the most unoriginal motherfucker that ever
That's where all of his character names came from.
All my character names come from this road.
Nice.
He's like, it just dawned on me as I was coming down here today.
Jesus.
So, yeah. It was cool. It was a good show, though. Very funny.
Nice.
So.
All right, Joel, bring us home.
Right. I played more Resistance 3.
Nice.
Which I'm still trudging through it. I wish I could go faster. I just haven't had enough free time to make it all the way through. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a great game. I'm playing through just campaign mode, single player.
Okay.
And I hear the 3D looks fantastic, but I never have tried it out yet. So I have to give that a shot.
Yeah, it's pretty well done in 3D.
Writer telling me it looks it's one of the better looking games in 3D, he was saying.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it.
I don't know why I bought this 3D TV and I barely use it in 3D. I should really fix that.
Didn't we tell you that, Joel?
Gimmick.
Yes.
But for me, if that game, like I'd only be playing that in 3D. I wouldn't play it on any other TV, and I wouldn't play it without 3D.
Why is that?
That's just because you're trying to you're trying to validate spending all that money on the 3D.
I'm not though. I love it. And if it's available in 3D, I played Thor in 3D for fuck's sake. All right.
Oh God!
Hey, next year you want to play Gravity Crash in 3D.
Ooh, wait,
I would love to play Gravity Crash in 3D.
that would pop.
I think for me personally, a lot of my gaming is late night after a long day, and I don't really want to tax the eyes at that point. I just want to sit down and play some games. And to be honest with you, playing it is a little bit more taxing on the eyes.
I've been saving myself because I know between next week and Christmas, I've got no life. Because I've got Batman, Assassin's Creed, Uncharted 3, Stranger, and whatever else is coming out between now and Christmas.
Right.
And because they're all story games I like playing, they're not going to be done in 2 days. We're done like a week each at least, So it's lots of games to play, lots of fun.
Yeah, that's one. Uncharted 3 is one that, like Josh said about Resistance 3, I think I'll play that in 3D in its entirety. Because just from what I've seen so far of Uncharted 3 in 3D, it really works with that experience.
After that demo we saw at E3, I'm definitely playing that game in 3D.
Yeah.
I have to make an admission here, guys. I've not pre-ordered it yet.
Ooh, GameStop's going to get you.
I don't think they have GameStop
Not
over
in
there.
the UK, they won't.
Tesco's going to get you.
Oh, Tesco! Where the fuck did you get Tesco from? Jesus.
Hey, I do my homework, man.
Okay, where else is there?
Game.
I just said that.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't hear
Steal
you, Josh.
mine.
Okay, sorry, Josh.
Walmart.
No, Walmart's called
Kmart.
Well, Kmart isn't. No, Walmart's not called Walmart here.
Oh, that's
Walmart's
right. It's
called Asda.
Yeah.
It's called You Stupid Americans Don't Shop Here.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Actually, I got a friend of my wife's works, or her husband works at a nearby US-led military place. As such, they've got a US store in it, and we're always getting Cheetos from there because you can't get them anywhere else.
Really?
I
You
love
can't get
Cheetos.
Cheetos over there?
No.
Ooh,
So if any people who work for Cheetos are listening, send them to our address, please. Big Fox.
That's fucked up.
I was just, when you were talking about 3D stuff, I suddenly realized I've got the Team Ico games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I feel so sad. I feel so sad. I bought it. I've hunted it for 4 days before I could find it. I played it and went, meh.
Aw, dude.
You're such a cynic.
Games.
No, seriously, I love both those games. I mean, Colossus I played like 3 times just to try everything, go everywhere and do everything I could do. Even though I did the whole game, just to go and try the whole thing about capturing birds and shit. I tried it all. So when I thought, great, PS3 HD version, it's going to be really fucking good. Oh no, it's just the PS2 version.
Yeah, but it's got a locked frame rate. That alone makes it worth it, especially Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, but dude, think back 5 years when it came out.
Yeah.
Can you now remember how slow it was then?
Yeah, because I own the game and I was just playing it before the collection came out.
So that's different. You're playing recently.
Also, I actually stopped playing Shadow of the Colossus early on because that frame rate was just annoying me too much.
Yeah, but I guess I felt let down because of some silly little lazy things the guys at Bluepoint did. Why did they leave the fucking back button on triangle? PS3 standard TRC says circle button is the fucking back button. Even the God of War games, when they were done, circle is move triangle to circle. But Colossus and Ico are still on triangle.
Okay.
And silly little things like that just bug the shit out of me.
Obviously.
Sorry.
Wow, and for the first time in my life, I'm happy I'm not a game developer.
So, Stuart, you want to talk about those triggers on Stranger's Wrath?
Oh, don't even go there. Don't even go there. We're changing it, okay? Because I thought you were smoking dope when you told me. I think he's talking out his ass. Yeah, a trigger is a trigger, like a gun trigger.
No,
it's fine.
it's
The
not.
triggers are cool.
Do you know why
Wait. So, wait. So I played 10 FPS games since you told me last week. Every single motherfucking one of them has got R1 and L1 for fucking firing.
Yeah.
Every single one.
So, but I'm serious. Whenever there's a game that gets ported from the 360 over to the PS3, or it's like lead platform, and they set it up with R2 and L2 for fire and zoom. We get emails, we get tweets. People bitch to me when I see them. I fucking hate that when that happens. We don't have any choice to use R1, and it's. I'm telling you, we get messages like crazy about that.
Okay, right. This is the bit I don't get. Maybe it's because I'm just dumb, but and I'm the first person to say Sony made a boo boo with the DualShock 3, making those squidgy trigger buttons. Okay, but it is a trigger. It's like a gun trigger. So why would you not want to have your fire on a gun-type trigger button?
Because I want to be able to fire as fast as possible. Also,
so you want to be able
developers
to
always cheat. But developers on the PlayStation platform always used R1 and L1. So you bring a game to the PlayStation, people are used to using R1 and L1 to do that function. So,
right, okay, on Stranger we have because the weapon you have fires 2 shots. Right. Different shots. Okay, you got R2 for the right side, L2 for the left side. You have R1 for changing between first and third person mode, and you have L1 for going into zoom mode when you get binoculars on the sniper shot. Okay, so basically what you're saying is we've got to swap the shoulder buttons around, so you end up firing.
What you should do is allow people to swap L1 and L2 and R1 and R2 as separate options.
Yeah, but this is my point. If you have firing on R1, L1, you're going to have the first person, third person switch on R2, and you're going to have the zoom on L2. That seems really alien to me.
No, see, the problem is when I'm playing the game right now, I hit R1 instinctively, and I switch from first person to third person and vice versa. And it screws me all up.
So it's more of a case of it's what's familiar to you.
Yeah.
So because also right now we have on the L3 and R3 we have punch. So you punch left hand and right hand and stuff. Okay.
Well, but that's something that people can pick up because melee is always on R3.
But would it not be easier then? What you're saying to change the camera shift to R3 and the zoom to L3 and have the punch on L2 and R2?
That's what I would expect.
That's actually not bad either. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But it's always
okay. So that could actually kill me.
It's always good to have the options there, though, instead of having a locked control scheme and this is what it is.
Yeah.
If you give gamers the option, like you can change up to a couple different control schemes, that's always awesome.
Yeah, totally.
So yes, I wasn't blowing smoke up your ass. I was serious.
Okay. Because nobody in the UK has mentioned that.
Yeah, but they're too worried about having tea. Tea and strumpets.
And cucumber sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
Cucumber sandwiches, the crust cut off. Yeah.
So, Joel, you got any more?
Yeah, I'm just curious what the next title I bring up. Resistance landed on Cheetos, so I'm really curious to see how. I want to see where the rest of this goes.
Yeah, we already knew what the show was going to be,
Holy
and that's
tangent, Batman.
That's what it's going
Yay!
to be.
I made my Extra Life list, so in preparation for Extra Life and to not have to spend a fourth of it updating with patches.
Extra Life, oh my gosh, Halo. What?
So I went through and updated all of my patches for all the games I'm playing in Extra Life, and I shit you not, that took like 8 hours over the weekend. It took a lot of time. There's just been so many updates, and as I'm going through the backlog, lots of stuff to get ready for.
Don't you have the auto update thing with PlayStation Plus on your PS3?
Yeah, but it doesn't work unless you play the game recently.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck. All right.
You have to play the game recently.
Guess I know what I'm doing tonight when we're done.
You got to at least throw the disc in for that to activate. And obviously, when you throw the disc in, it already goes and grabs the patch anyway. So I just sat through that.
Are you sure about that? Because I haven't played Little Big Planet 2 since it came out, and I got an update a month ago.
Well, I think you have to have played it since they've added that functionality at a minimum.
Oh, okay.
I know my games don't automatically update unless I play them in recent time. Then they'll update.
I'm going to have to update Gran Turismo 5. Oh.
Yeah, the biggest one for me was I'm actually going to play some DC Universe Online. And that had a pretty decent update and one hell of an install. So that was like an hour and a half to 2 hours probably just watching that title get prepared. So
wow.
Took a lot of time, actually. And as I was doing that, I pulled out the handheld. So I played some MotorStorm Arctic Edge on the PSP, which I'm hoping ends in a Doritos story. Go, Stuart.
No. I've got nothing.
Nothing, okay. Some Pixel Junk Monsters Alpha, still playing that. That's at least done for the time being, but enjoyed that one. On the DS, Trajectile, which is by Q Games, talked about it before. It's a huge game, and I'm loving that one, and I will continue to play that until I'm finished with it, which will probably be just cost 2 levels. And that game is pretty big. And then Star Fox 64 on the 3DS. Finally got around to playing more of that.
Asshole.
And it's a classic game, and it looks really good with that technology. You know, as I've said before, I think I said it on here before, the flying games on the 3DS look really damn good. What I don't like with Star Fox is the tilt mechanic or the actual movement thing. I forget what you call it on there. Used to like the gyroscope. The motion control, yeah.
Wait, it uses that?
Well, you can use that, but you can turn that off also. So when you're flipping your ship around, you're steering that way, obviously you're losing the 3D effect because your eyes are shifting back and forth. Why they do that, I don't know. I suppose you could play it in 2D using those motion controls, and that might be kind of cool, but it's not very cool in 3D.
Who did the 3DS version?
Oh, geez.
I don't know.
Was it Q?
No.
No.
I mean, they're proud of it and everything, but I don't think they touched it.
Like, I don't know if Dylan was involved in it or not, since he did the original. So.
I mean, he tweets about it or whatever every now and then, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I've got the packaging out and everything. Of course, it doesn't say. It's just Nintendo. So not sure. It wasn't Q Games. I remember them talking about it and how somebody else was handling it. But whoever did it did a great job. It's a very good port. Looks great in 3D, and just reminds me how much was to some of these games back in the 64-bit generation. There's a lot of extra stuff to go seek out in this game. It's a pretty big game. Side quests and stuff like that. And watching MLB playoffs. Got suckered into watching a bunch of that. It seems like it's like a
Which reminds me,
game every other day. Lots of games to watch.
I'm still using your MLB account.
Nice.
I went to bed about 3 weeks ago. I thought, I wonder if I was going to watch something on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, and I thought, nothing on, fuck it. And I saw the MLB TV icon on my XMB. I thought, oh shit, I've not used that in a while. I thought, Glenn would have taken me off the account. Fuck, it still works, yes! So I watched my Blue Jays get their asses kicked.
That'll happen.
You know, it's nice that they include the playoff games in there, too, which is, and they did that last year, so you can go back and watch everything 90 minutes after, or, well, I think most of it's 90 minutes after for the blackout restrictions.
The nice thing was, because the game
to go back and watch. That'd be
vault.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the game started at 4 o'clock on Friday, so I actually had my phone, and I used my MLB account to grab the audio, at least, on my phone, so we could actually listen to the first part of the game. So I mean, it's nice, but I don't think I'll do MLB TV next year just because they black out my local game. I don't know. I don't use it as much.
Well, can't you log in too from the work PC and just get the audio from the radio? I can't do it from
my work PC. That's why you have to use my phone or my tablet. But the thing is, you can get the audio, but you can't get the video. It's kind of pointless to me. I don't know. Because I mean,
it's nice that the two are tied together. Yeah. Like in the NFL, for example, that's a separate deal for the radio. Yeah. You know, it's a deal they have through Sirius Radio to get that feed, so it's not tied at all to the NFL ticket that you pay for. Yeah. So it's nice that MLB's got it's combined, where if you can get either the video or the audio, depending on where you are and what device you're using. So when you're at work, it's nice to get the audio at least. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I just don't use it as much as I could, probably. One last thing before we go to break. Are you done, Joel? That was it, right?
Sure.
Yep. Okay, sorry. It's pretty funny. I just saw this on Twitter, but Game Informer just put up their review of Hulk Hogan's main event for Kinect. It got a 1 out of 10. Wow. I just love this tagline. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and play literally any other game. But it's so accurate. Anyway. All right, well, let's take our break. When we come back, we'll have Josh review a couple of old Sega games, and we'll talk some emails and probably talk some more Stranger's Wrath and stuff like that and junk and stuff. We'll be right back. Stick with us. We are back, and we're going to have Josh talk a little bit about a couple of Sega classics, maybe, from the Dreamcast. Sega Bass Fishing and Space Channel 5 Part 2.
Yeah.
From the PSN. Yeah.
All right,
so
I'll
what's
start
up?
with Sega Bass Fishing. It's a port of an arcade game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally on the Dreamcast back in 1999. And this one has move support.
And how is the move support? Because actually, I ask this because I have that Activision Bass Fishing game that came with its own controller and everything. Remember, I brought that along last year. And the move controls were way better.
Yeah. The move controls on this, they're good. They're really good, but they're nowhere near as sophisticated as that Activision game, obviously.
Well, you don't have a little thing to spin.
No, you don't. But it works well either way. I played it both ways. I played it with just the regular controller. I played it with just the move controller. It works well whichever way you want to do it. I found that it's a little bit easier with the move control when you're reeling them in and you're pulling the left or right and trying to really reel the bass in. So, all right, well, let me get for anybody who doesn't know. Obviously, it's bass fishing. That's what the whole game's all about. There's a couple modes in there. There's an arcade mode, a original mode, which is the Sega Bass Fishing Association Tournament. Or
if you're from Georgia, it's tournament.
Yeah. So there's 3 modes in there. You choose between a guy and a girl avatar that you hardly ever see, and you jump right into the game. So with the arcade game, you have a timer that counts down, and you just catch as many fish as you can. You get bonus time when the fish are caught, and you move from area to area as you catch enough fish. You'll pull them onto the boat, and they have a weight, and when you hit a certain weight amount, then you move on to the next area, and you just keep going until the time runs out. The original mode is actually a tournament, which is set in 5 stages, and that's really the meat of the game. That's where you can spend a lot of time. You'll start in one area, and you have 4 hours to fish, which essentially boils down to 4 minutes. Each hour roughly runs a minute. And you'll be there actually for 3 separate times, and that's one stage. So you'll be there in the morning 4 hours, afternoon 4 hours, evening 4 hours. And the trick to the game is really you just choose a fishing lure, and you go. You cast your line, and you pull it back in, and you try to attract the fish, get them to grab hold of it. When you pull them in, you start to reel them in. You really have to take into account the tension on the line, because you can snap your line if you're not careful. You have to actually let it go and give it some slack, and then pull it in a little bit more.
And then it turns into a rhythm game.
Yeah, just about.
Oh.
Now, you just have to be careful with it. So the other thing is each lure reacts differently, and some will fall right down to the bottom. Some will just skim along the top. So you really have to figure out, based on where you are, the time of day, and everything, which lure is going to attract the fish. And you can throw one in and pull it back, and it'll go right by all the fish, and they'll hardly notice it or hardly do anything with it. You can hit triangle and quickly switch to a different one and throw it out again and try again. And you'll see it. Some will attract them more than others, and later in the day, that same lure won't work. They won't go for it. So there's a little bit of strategy involved there. There's a practice mode where you can just, mess around. You can set the time of day, set the weather, do all of that. The graphics, actually, they're Dreamcast. It's a Dreamcast game. The graphics are a little bit better. Obviously, they're a little bit smoother. You can do widescreen or 4x3. The sound, it's an arcade game. you get that arcade music going on. Most of when you cast the line out, you have an underwater view, so you can see all the fish kind of swimming around there, and you can, you want to reel in faster or slower and just sort of change it up constantly and move it around to try to catch their attention and all. So it looks pretty good. It's a decent looking game and all. It plays pretty well. I never played the original actually because I never got the controller that comes with it. And everybody told me, without that controller, it's just not worth it. So,
yeah, it's kind of true, actually.
Yeah, so I never bought the original game for my Dreamcast. But this one's good. It's obviously it's not going to stand up to the full-on fishing games like the one you had. And isn't there like a Cabela's one or something like that?
I think that's the one I have.
Is that the one? Okay.
Oh, no, the Cabela's is the hunting.
Okay, I thought
the
they
one
did
I have,
fishing as well.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's an old Dreamcast game, so obviously it's not going to be super deep. It's not going to be super long. But it's a good game. It's a good, solid game. The tournament mode especially, that'll keep you busy for a long time. Because that one, you're just catching as many fish as you can in that amount of time. And the more weight you've caught, the better score you have, and really you're trying to get to the top of the leaderboard. So this one I gave a B+. Because it's a good, solid game. It's just, it's not super deep. There's not a whole lot there. But it's fun, if you're into that type of game. Cool. And Space Channel 5 Part 2.
Oh, boy.
Ooh La La is back. Love me some Ooh La La.
I will say the young lady that cosplays that quite a bit, like at PAX and things like that, pulled it off very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why I love this game. So,
Team Josh.
This one you're fighting the Rhythm Rogue, so I'm hoping somebody's at Comic-Con with that outfit on.
We'll never see or hear from you again.
Yeah. It's all right, so this is a rhythm game, obviously. It's very much like Parappa the Rapper. You're a space reporter in a miniskirt. And you're reporting
I can picture you now, Josh.
Huh?
I can picture you in a miniskirt right now.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Hey, if I can get Lou into this outfit, oh man, that's all.
All right, enough of your sick fantasies. Get on with it.
If she starts wearing this, man, all right. So you're reporting on alien attacks and abductions and things. People are being kidnapped and they're being forced to dance. And
obviously,
people like Space President Peace. It's a wacky Japanese game if you haven't figured out. Like I said, it's a rhythm game. It's very much like Parappa the Rapper. It's like a hot Simon Says, basically, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of eye candy there. So when you fight these guys, you basically need to copy their moves. You're going to use up, down, left, right, and 2 buttons. And one is you're copying like a sound they make, and the other one is a gun that you shoot that you grab people and save them. It's sort of a
dancing saves the world.
Yes. So the thing is with the music, actually, it's a sexy Simon Says. Come on, leave me alone. It's
okay.
This game actually, it can get really difficult at times because you have to stay with the beat of the music, and the music.
Since you're white, you have no rhythm.
Well, but the music changes dramatically. Like it'll go from pop and rock to a waltz all of a sudden, and if you're not paying attention to the beat and you're not really paying attention to where you come in versus where because they'll do their thing and then you have to follow them. If you're not paying attention to that, you'll miss your beat and you're going to die. You have a couple of hearts there, which are basically a couple of lives that you miss a beat, you'll lose one. You miss a beat, you'll lose one. and then all of a sudden you have to start over, and the checkpoints on this, they can be pretty far back. So you have to go through it all over again, which can be frustrating at times. But the other thing they've done here is they've added charged moves, where you have to actually hold the button down. So, like in the game, you'll hear the enemies will say something like "chew," and that's when you hit X. Or they'll go "chew," and then you have to hold the X button down just that long, and then let it go.
Tight.
Yeah. So you really have to pay attention to what's going on there, or you're going to get all screwed up. And this is also the one that includes Michael Jackson as Space Michael. So you've got that going.
Did they actually leave him in the game?
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean it's the original game. They didn't really change anything here. They added trophies to both of these, and they added move support to the Sega Bass Fishing. But they're the original games, so it's all there. You also have competition here and there, so you have mini boss battles going on where you play instruments like guitars and drums. But you're basically just strumming and hitting buttons and things like that. The one thing is, you at that point, like if you're using the stick to move up, down, left, or right, you kind of have to move to the D-pad when you're doing strumming and things like that, because it happens so fast. There's no way to move the stick down like 5 times in a row that quick. It's too hard to do. It's just much easier on the D-pads.
It's too hard. I can't do it.
Yeah. Just trying to help you out. I know you're going to be sitting there all frustrated.
Yeah, that's what'll happen.
Of course, there's secrets in each level, and you can find them by rescuing every possible kidnapped victim. And in the main menu, when you go to the character profile, you see all the vanquished enemies, all the hostages you saved, and all these characters. And you get tips on how to beat some of them, and you get hidden secrets that are in the game. Uh-huh. And, you can use those to actually help you through the game. There's a story mode. There's a co-op story mode where one person does the moves, the other one does the face buttons. There's Ooh La La's
on the same controller?
Mode. Yeah, I thought it was going to be 2 players, and no.
Wait, on the same controller?
No.
Okay.
Oh, phew.
You said yeah when he asked you that. I'm like, what?
No, I thought it was going to be 2 physical people on the screen, but no, it's not. It's 2 controllers, but 1 person, basically. The Ooh La La's dance mode, which is 100-level dance, where you have to copy her moves as she gets progressively harder through 100 levels.
Wait, she's getting harder? I think this game's doing it wrong.
Yes, indeed. There's also a co-op version of that. And then there's a changing room where I didn't spend much time, really.
You probably sat in there for hours. It's like playing Barbies.
Yes. No, there's a changing room where you can change her into costumes and props that you've unlocked. And I don't know, they don't seem to do much. I think as you get some of the better costumes and things like that, they do something, but I didn't read too much into that and find out what it was. The music is good. It's strange. It's very Japanese. Like I said, the whole game is very Japanese, wacky, weird. And the music is all over the place. So even when you screw up and you have to go back, it doesn't get tedious, really, with I'm sick of hearing the song over and over, because the levels don't go too long and they change up the music pretty quick. The graphics are good. They're not. Well,
the graphics were good on the Dreamcast even, because they're all pre-rendered, or they're canned. So
yeah. And they look good. They don't look spectacular. Obviously, it's a Dreamcast title. It's an old title. Same thing here. You have widescreen or 4:3, whichever way you want to do it. Because I believe this is a port from the PC version, which had widescreen. I believe. I'm not too sure about that. But this one has so much more going on in it, because you've got all those you've got the boss battles, you've got things changed up here and there, you have all the hidden secrets to find, and there's a lot more going on here. So this one I gave an A-, because if you're into these types of rhythm games, this one's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun. So worth it. Say.
Well, and speaking of games, I figured maybe we'd talk a little bit more about Stranger's Wrath quick. Since that's the one impending here, we should see it hopefully before Christmas, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
So, for people that have missed your appearances before on the show, I was going to see maybe if you could kind of go over what you guys are doing with this game. You know, is it just a straight port, like some people might ask, or you know, what are you guys actually doing with the game?
Oh,
or what aren't you doing with the game? We should do that.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What have we done? Every single character in the game has been updated, polygons and textures. So, for example, main character has gone from 3,000 polys to 20,000 polys. The average character has gone from 1,000 polys to 3,000 to 4,000 polys. The critters, your weaponry, the little critters that talk to you and you use ammunition, they've gone from 500 polys up to about 3,000 polys.
Wow.
You know, with a lot of the in-game textures were already like 1024 high-res textures, but some of them in really crazy places are really, really low-res. So we've up-resed all of those to at least 512s, in some cases 1024 textures. Some of the areas, the environments we've gone through, you know, for example, pipes which were perhaps hexagons before are now round pipes. You know, that kind of stuff. You know, we're just basically going through and giving it a lick of paint. You know, found stuff we think, that looks a bit dated. Let's prove the shit out of it. You know, another example we've done recently is, in fact, the version you've got hasn't got this new stuff. The version you've got has got standard flat polygon grass. You know, like a texture and a bit of.
So you're holding out.
Like a billboard. Yeah. The new version's got multi-based grass textures and stuff now. We've got 35 plus trophies in there, including a platinum as well. Yay! What else? Hey, there we go. What else we got? What else? We've completely changed the user interface. I say completely changed it. We've gone back to the original designs that Oddworld's guys had back in whatever year it was they did it, but because they couldn't make it, they didn't have enough memory on the Xbox or functionality, we've gone back to those designs and used those designs. So it looks a damn sight better. What else? We've re-rendered all the movies off, pretty much. So, for example, the original movies on the Xbox were 640, 480. We actually discovered they'd rendered it off the movies to, you know, single image frames. So every frame of animation of the movie was a separate image file, and they were all higher resolution. So they're all like, I think it was 960 by 720 or something, higher resolution. So we've gone back to those and recreated the movies as 720p movies. Apart from 3 little ones that we find in the game, all the rest have been, you know, 720p. What else? We've improved some of the audio. What I mean by that is the Xbox version had like 8-bit 11 kilohertz audio for everything. We went back to the original recorded wave files, you know, 16-bit, 44 and 48 kilohertz. So the game now has those in it. But we discovered a couple of the main female characters were kind of Monty Python-esque. It was guys doing the women's voices. So, yeah, he's a very naughty boy. Yeah. The reason they did it was Oddworld never used voice talent. They always used staff at Oddworld to do the voices. And for whatever reason, Lauren and Michael Bros never found either any good female voices in the office, or no one who could stop laughing long enough. I'm recording a voice.
Or they're big Monty Python fans.
Yeah, or the big Monty Python fans. So I spoke to Lauren and said, look, do you mind if we record some of these female voices with a female actress? And he went, yeah, go for it. So we've a couple of the characters we've revoiced completely, using a woman here in the UK who does a great voice on those characters. What else? We've added a few Easter eggs in there.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
There's a reference to Munch in there. And there's a reference to... I don't want to say because it's... no, I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a reference to the game that isn't Munch or Stranger.
Ah, yes. You've talked about that earlier, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's in there. What else? There's a couple of other little Easter eggs too. So yeah, we've literally gone to town on it. I don't think there's one part of the game which has not been updated in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Now, what are you shooting for? You're shooting for 1080p, right?
Right. We're sitting on the fence right now because the game is running at 720p, 60 frames a second, with MLAA aliasing on it, and it looks absolutely divine.
Yeah.
But if we push up to 1080, we're not going to get 60 constantly, we don't think. We're still trying to do it. We've still got in a couple of weeks of optimizing code to do yet. So we might do it yet, but we don't want to say 100% yes, we are doing it unless we can actually do it. So right now we're definitely doing 720, 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
3D move support, anything like that?
We announced those before. We are doing those, but I've got a funny feeling because we need to get the game out in the next few weeks. So we're probably going to we will be adding those as an update.
Okay.
As soon as we can. I mean, if suddenly we had 2 weeks spare, we would put them in right now. Because we literally are that close to knuckle to getting these last optimizations done and the last few bugs fixed off. We don't want to risk breaking shit more. And he said, sorry guys, it's not the fall after all. So yeah, we're playing it safe and getting the game out there straight away. And then we'll do a regular patch update with 3D and move support.
Very cool.
But like I said, there's a bunch of trophies, 18 hours of game. What's not to like?
Exactly. It's a fun game. I mean, even in the early state that I'm playing, I'm really enjoying it, and it's pretty funny. I mean, I was already impressed with how it looked and everything, and then I was just kind of screwing around one day, and I went onto YouTube and watched a video of the Xbox version, and then I went, holy shit, this is a huge upgrade. And, because, I mean, you're used to playing games like an Uncharted or whatever, and you in the back of your head, you have these expectations, and then you play a game that's a remake, any of them. I mean, the God of War stuff and Shadow of the Colossus stuff. And then you see the original, and then it just hits you, like how much work has been put into it.
Yeah. That's that when you mentioned God of War there. When I got the original God of War collection, God of War 1 and 2,
yeah.
What surprised me was that the movies are now worse than the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas on the original game, it was like, wow, these movies are so hot. The game is okay, but the movies are so great.
Yeah, I think that collection was kind of a rush job too, though.
Yeah.
Since that was the whole,
so well, I think we've probably, if you think about it in terms of how much time we've spent on it, one of the Anthony spent 12 months on the models, but just him doing it himself. He has 84 models in the game, characters in the game.
Wow.
So he spent just under 12 months doing that, and not just remodeling, but doing some visual effects on them as well. So he spent 12 months on that, but the rest of the team, we probably didn't actually start till a lot later than we were planning. We didn't start until March this year on it, really.
Right.
So, for 1, 2, 3, 4 of us, plus Anthony, so 5. So 4 of us have been on it since March.
And let's be honest, Stuart, you probably didn't really do anything with it. You're the business guy.
You say that, but, actually, no word of a lie. I actually implemented the first 26 trophies because all was done through script stuff, so I did that all myself.
Wow.
Well, not all myself. I mean, Steve, back in the days. Steve, our chief technical officer, he did the system implementation for trophies, but I went through all the scripts and made sure they all worked and stuff. So yeah.
Look at Stuart. And
then Liam did some as well in the office. He done some of the trophies too, and Will, our office guy I mentioned to you earlier, he's a massive Oddworld fan. In fact, we got in touch with him because he's an Oddworld fan. So he's helped us out with stuff in the game. We're like going, is there an area in the game where we can do this? Because well, there is actually. If you go here, it's all there. So he knows the game better than we do. which is quite scary. But yeah, but it's been good though, because it means, if we want to do something for the fans, we ask Will, said, would this be cool? He goes, oh yes, fangasm. So yeah.
Nice. Well,
and then of course we've got.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just one last thing. One thing we've got all the extras we've had as well, the unlockable stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever you complete a level of the game, you unlock concept art now and some movies as well. So,
I haven't gotten to look at that stuff too much. So
that's because it's not in there.
Oh, that's why I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah.
I just didn't even think about it. I see the stuff, and the trophies are popping up, but so cool.
Yeah.
Well, we like an hour before we started recording, we got on Twitter and asked if anybody had any questions for you. So we got a couple. This one is an email that we got from Will Bunce Edwards. Really?
Do you know why I'm laughing?
Why is that?
That's our office boy.
Well, the best part is he starts it off with, "Dear Mr. Gilroy, do you prefer squeak or nod?"
Squeak.
Says, do you prefer squeak or nod? And who would win in a fight between a fuzzle and a sting bee?
Oh, damn. Sting bee.
Who's your favorite Wolvark? And
Sniper.
He says, yours with love, Lloyd.
There's a story behind that. I'm not going to on air either.
And then we got a pretty good tweet here from Dark Images, and he says, "Yeah, are they going to have a minecart?"
Oh yeah, there's more than one minecart. I think there's like 4 or 5 minecart rides in the game.
Yeah, I remember Stewart just sending me a very cryptic email with a very weird subject line, and I opened it up, and there was a picture of the minecarts.
Game of the year.
I said, remake of the year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was that other tweet you were talking about, Stewart? Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a guy on there saying, let me open the iPad. This is a crazy one.
Has any of the work to port / update Stranger's Wrath been applied to any other Xbox One games? Any plans to release tools? And then he says, how are you leveraging the SPUs and newer GPU? What kind of bugs came up when going from 32-bit CPU fixed shaders to 64?
Right, well, okay, here we go. I can answer most of these, actually, because I've been through the pain. What was the first one again? Oh, Xbox tools, that was it. No tools have been released, because that would just be a huge pain in the ass. Right. And also, the Xbox games, we're going to do Munch, we are doing Munch, but that's it. Yeah, for all intents and purposes, we're doing Oddworld for the next X years.
Right.
So, we're not thinking about any other franchises. Somebody might come to us in the future and say, can you do as this? And we'll go, no, we're Oddworld. And then the second question about SPUs against GPU, the RSX can do some things very well. One of the things it can't do very well is fill rate. So that's been a slight problem for us, but not too much of a problem. The main problem we've had was not to do with the shaders, because we had to rewrite the shaders anyway, because Xbox shaders are nothing like PS3 shaders.
Right.
So we had to write those from scratch for the PC version, never mind the PS3 version. So we knew all that stuff already. And I think we've got like a couple of bugs left to fix and some of the stuff, but nothing which makes the game die. So yeah, it's been some of the stuff's been fairly easy. Say we've only spent April, May, June, July, August, so maybe 6 months on coding. It's not been like a huge pain.
Sure.
So yeah, it's been fairly straightforward. It's a few issues, but nothing that's made us go, oh my god, we can't do this, we're screwed.
Don't tell anybody, we're screwed!
No! So yeah, nothing like that at all. So just lots of work, doing lots of things to do, change and stuff, but nothing to make us panic.
Right. Do you have a kind of a date or a time period that you're going to shoot for release, or just kind of a general before Christmas?
Yes, we have a window.
And you're not going to tell us, are you? All right.
No.
That's
not until we're in Sony QA.
Sure.
Then we'll talk about it. So because shit changes.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, yeah. All right. Cool. Well, with that, let's do some emails, huh? We only got 3.
Well, I have a question for him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go on.
Okay.
Yeah. What's it like working on an already existing franchise. Previously you've got to create your own games. Obviously, you're going to say you love Oddworld, and that's cool. Well, we all do.
Irrespective of the whole fan service type ass kissing thing, because it's a business situation going on. I've been an Oddworld fan since Abe's Odyssey came out, so to not only meet the guys behind them, but to work on those games and also work on new games based on that IP is just a massive honor. And all of us in the office are fans of Oddworld. So we don't just think about it in a case of, let's just get this game out the door quickly. It's a contract, or it's a job for us to do. Let's get out the door. We look at it more of a case of, this is our game as well. And if we don't do this well, not only are we showing disrespect to Oddworld, we're doing ourselves a disrespect as well. So right. It's almost like it's a labor of love to some degree, because we love this stuff. We don't want to kill it, and we're always thinking of tweaking things and tidying things up. And even we're finding ourselves reining ourselves back, saying, "Yes, we can do that, but we ain't got time to do that. So let's just wait, and not do that now. Do the next game or something else." So it's been fun. It's been great. It's been great. So like I say, it's a huge honor. So yeah.
What have you learned working on the franchise that you didn't know or see as a game player?
A weird thing is, it's not so much of what already exists in the games released. It's more of a case of all the documentation those guys wrote and designed for stuff that hasn't been discussed anywhere yet. We found, for example, because we've got something like 800 CDs and DVDs of archives from Oddworld, going from 1994 through 2005. And we're going through all this stuff, putting it onto a big 15 terabyte storage system. So we're going through all this stuff, and we're finding documents, design documents, images, concept art, early demos, stuff that has never been seen anywhere. And we found last week 2 documents which had a timeline from 1998 through 2010 of all the games and all the release dates that we're planning on hitting. Before Stranger's Wrath came out, the Munch's Exodus, the Squeak's Odyssey, Squeak's Exodus, Hand of Odd 2, all this stuff was pre-planned out to some degree. And they had a list of, in 1998 we had 7 species. In 2000 we have 15 species. In 2004 we have 35 species. 2010 we've got 95 species. So they had all this stuff there. It just kind of proves it's a massive universe that they already thought out and designed to some degree. So when we go into this stuff now for the new games, when we do come to do Squeak's Odyssey, not only do we have parts of those designs already, we have the thoughts of the species and the kind of concept art they wanted to have for the environments and stuff. So we've got stuff not sort of from a completely blank slate, which is kind of cool, because it means we're taking, say, 20% of the world they already designed for Squeak's Odyssey, for example, and we can fill in the gaps using that base style and designs they already came out with.
It's pretty cool. So it's like...
Yeah. I didn't realize they had that much archives and stuff. I mean, it sounds like...
You didn't. Neither did we.
Yeah. What happened? Like, all of a sudden, just all these crates start showing up?
Pretty much. I mean, Lawrence... Because I was across there last November for a few days staying at their house, and Lawrence showed me around the basement and said, "Okay, we've got some discs here. We've got some boxes here and some more discs. We've got some discs here." And we saw discs 1 to 212 for Abe's Exodus. And I said, "Well, you have to get us across this in the UK, because we've got nothing for Exodus at all, for Abe's Exodus." So, "Okay, we'll get them shipped across." And I said to him in February, "Let's wait until we've moved offices." So we moved offices in March, right. And then they start sending these discs in May, June time. And then the first thing came, a guy in their office in the States who said, "I'm sending you a package out today. It's got 500 CDs in it, and it's cost us $200 to ship."
Oh my God!
What the fuck? I said, I hope they've taken all the jewel cases out, because all these discs were in jewel cases. Because Lauren had me take all this out of jewel cases and put them inside one of those binders.
Oh yeah,
this poor guy who's gone through 500 CDs, taking them out of cases and putting them in his binders.
Oh my God.
I think we ended up getting like five binders came the first time, 100 discs in each binder.
Shit.
And then Lawrence, I got an email from him saying, "Oh yeah, we found some more discs. I'll get them shipped to you next week." Jesus, man! So, all this stuff, it's an archive and a half.
It's those artistic types, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, there's even stuff which isn't written down, which Lauren has made me privy to, and it's quite strange because I've not told some of the guys in the office some of this stuff, so it's mind blowing. It really is. So yeah,
very cool.
Yeah,
Josh, you got any questions?
I got nothing. I'm still wrapping my head around everything that's been said so far.
Yeah.
What's your relationship like with Lorne? And how's the partnership in creating these games together? Obviously, these games
awesome.
have been around before, but he seems very close to his IPs. So the fact that he is opening the vault, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Lorne and Sherry look at this stuff as their kids, and Abe is their kid. So it's like they don't have kids of their own. So this world is their kids. So it's not only is it an honor and a privilege, it shows the kind of trust they have in us, which in itself is scary. Shit, trusting's with their kids, Christ. But that Lauren and Sherry aren't the kind of people who just give things away willy nilly. They do know their onions and know their stuff first before they let us in, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I turned on Skype tonight. I've not turned it on since yesterday morning. In the office, I was speaking to one of the guys in London we work with, and I turned it on tonight to speak to you guys. And the first thing comes up with Lauren, it just says tease. Oh, what? I've no idea what the hell he's talking about. I get emails. What am I teasing? What? So
very cool.
Do you feel any added pressure working on this game, considering all of that, or is it just the same old? You're always working your butt off.
Only pressure in the sense we don't want to let anybody down, including ourselves. It's self-induced pressure, which is cool. What we don't like, and I don't like, is when you work for a publisher and they're saying, you must do this by yesterday, and you must do it 5 times better. That pressure is uncalled for and unwarranted. They're trying to make you do stuff you didn't agree to do in the first place.
Right.
And because, in some respects, I do a lot of the working and running of Oddworld. I mean, I arranged all the latest merchandise stuff and the new website, which we've got coming too. So I've done it all from here in the UK. And most of the time I emailed the guys in the States, say, look, I want to do this, that, and that, and they'll just say, whatever you think's best.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice. That's humbling as well to some degree.
That's a lot of trust.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I do have something.
Oh.
Too late. I'm sorry.
All right.
Go on.
Yeah. I had been thinking about this, but I completely forgot until you started talking more about this. Did you guys have ideas for other games of your own just after Gravity Crash? And did you put those on hold, or
Yeah. We worked on 1, 2.
Well, you had the rhythm game.
Well, we had 3 or 4 prototypes. Yeah, we had Vector Beat, which we actually, the designer Alex, we said to him, we're not going to do anything with it now because we just, we moved on from PSP and we got too much to do with the Oddworld stuff. So we handed the design back to him, and I think he's taken it and got some other guys to do an iPhone version, I think. Huh. So a version of that concept will come out on iPhone, I think. We also had a game called Lighthouse we were working on, which was kind of like a 3D version of Harbour Master on the iPhone. Again, we put that on hold ourselves and let that go to another developer to work with. And then we were working on a thing called Paradroid, which is a remake of the old C64 game with the same name from the 80s.
I just thought that name sounded familiar, and I'm like, I remember that.
Yeah, and we were doing. In fact, we even had a version of it running on the PS3, and then we decided, 1, Oddworld came along, 2, we're not going to pay the license to use the name of Paradroid because the people who remember it, are probably don't want to don't want to play it now because it's 25, 30 years ago the game came out, or the kids who will play the game today won't care about the name Paradroid.
Right.
I thought, let's just not do that. So that we've still got that prototype we worked on is still existing, so we might go back to that at some point, maybe even for something Oddworld-ish, I don't know, but there's some stuff still there. So yeah.
Cool.
And we started doing concept work for what would have been Gravity Crash 2, I guess. So yeah. No, you just died inside, didn't you?
Damn it.
Don't blame me. Blame those people in Sony X stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're working on Stranger's Wrath because it sounds fabulous, and from what we've seen so far, it looks really, really good. And it's one of those games that was underappreciated and sort of under people's radar last generation. Came out very late, the life cycle of the Xbox. It's one of the best Xbox games, though.
Well, it got a Metacritic of 88. For an end-of-life cycle title, that's pretty good.
Definitely.
I thought the reviews were low. That game didn't get the respect it deserved, in my opinion.
Completely. Because people expected it to be Aim and Munch, and when it wasn't, they just went, yeah.
Yeah, what's this Oddworld first-person shooter? What the hell is this? If you don't look, if you don't look past that and just enjoy the game for what it is.
Well, that's the thing is that pretty much the first half of the game, it's predominantly third-person.
Yeah, definitely.
And the second half is more first-person than third-person. Mm-hmm. But it's still, a first/third-person title. It's not like a Call of Duty or Rage or whatever else when you're fixed to being first-person only. So.
Right. Yeah, we'll put some video up eventually when you let us. Anyway.
Yeah. Actually, why don't you Extra Life stream it?
Oh. Well,
would that float your boat?
I guess
I would love you guys to put that up. So, I don't know how are you guys Justin TVing it or whatever you're doing with it, streaming it?
We're going to be using that.
Or Ustream or whatever.
Well, Justin became Twitch TV, so we're going to be on there.
But, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can still go to Justin TV and it just reverts you, but it's up over on our website. If you go to that Extra Life link, we've got the video. Right there.
if you could tweet that link when it goes up, and we'll retweet it and put it on the Oddworld Facebook page and everything.
But of course.
So, and then maybe get people to come and go, ooh.
Maybe we'll make people work for it. Maybe we'll say we'll play it when we get to a certain dollar amount.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
think about that one. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to. I'll definitely bring the debug down and do that.
Awesome.
Like I need an excuse to play the game. Okay, I guess.
Twist my arm.
Ow, my arm. Well, let's get these emails out of the way, and we'll actually talk some Extra Life.
I was about to say, actually, guys, I've just realized my phone's just flashed up 5% battery left.
Uh-oh. I'll tell you what. This stuff usually, takes a few minutes anyway, so we'll probably let you go now then. And instead of you just going, Stewart, what do you think of that? Stewart? Stewart?
Yeah.
We can't thank you enough for coming on and joining us. We loved having you on for the whole show, and it's been an idea we've thrown around for so long, and I'm glad you did it, and hopefully you'll do it again with us.
I will do, but next time, remind me at least the day before.
I did!
You didn't yesterday.
No, I didn't do it yesterday. I did it over the weekend, though.
Yeah, that's when you told me about it.
Well, that's right. I said, by the way, we kind of said we're going to try to have you do this, so you want to do it?
Yeah. Nice. Because it's now officially fucking dawn o'clock. What time is it? It's 3:30 in the morning.
And
I'm up in 3 hours.
There. Well, thanks so much, and we'll definitely stream the game, dude. We will definitely.
And I'm just sorry we didn't get. I'm just really sorry we didn't get a chance to talk a little about Rush.
You talked enough about Rush.
Yeah, never enough.
That was all during the break, though. We've got to have him back just for an hour of Rush Primus talk.
Hey, well, look, the new Blu-ray's out on the 8th of November.
Oh, crap, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Time Machine Tour Blu-ray.
Awesome.
Well,
yeah.
So, thanks, seriously, thanks so much for sending that build of the game, too. It's really cool to get the hands on, and just love following this game as much as we can, and we'll do as much as we can to let everybody know about it, because it is a really cool game. I mean, it's something that I played a little bit of it on the Xbox. I never owned it, but now that I've had the extended time with it, and I'm glad I can play it for Extra Life, honestly, because I really want to get my hands dirty with this thing, and I've just had not very much time for anything lately. So, yeah, very, very cool. So,
and I was going to say, what we'll do as well is when we get our release date, we'll be announcing the release date and price at the same time. Okay. So yeah, hopefully in the next 3 weeks we'll be able to talk about that.
Awesome. Well, you know that you're welcome on the show to talk about anything, sir.
Well, thank you very much indeed.
So,
as long as it's not Josh and his NHL team, Josh, and his coach and shit.
All right, fine. It won't be that. I'll just talk Just Cause 2.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all.
Oh, dude, awesome. I love Just Cause 2.
Nice.
Oh, God, no. Well, too bad your battery's dying there, Stewart.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Someone's got to like it. Can't wait for Just Cause 3.
The thing is, I like the game. It's just we've talked about it so much.
It's awesome.
The only downside I have about the damn thing is the fact that the story missions, when you do it, you've only done 25% of the entire game-ish.
Yep.
So you have to do 75% of blowing up shit. Which is fine, but when you're blowing up the 100th gas station, you think, okay, done now.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I got a little bit.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to go because I feel my pillows calling my head.
All right. Get some sleep, sir, and we'll talk very soon.
All right, man. Take care of yourself, gentlemen. Thank you very much again.
Thanks, Stuart.
Bye.
So who wants to do the first email? I'm sure Josh does because it's self-serving for Josh.
No, it talks about you two. Actually, I put all three of these in. I was hoping to get his input on, I think, this one specifically. Yeah, this one specifically. But it doesn't matter now. It's, wow, Josh, I didn't know anybody could talk about a sports game for so long. Oops, except maybe Glenn with MLB The Show.
Aw, I don't, yeah, but... Yeah, I talk a lot about that game. But not every week like you do with NHL.
Yeah, okay. Just messing with you. I get long-winded as well. Anyway, I have a question. Seems that all the original Sony exclusives have run their course for now. Resistance 3, God of War 3, Uncharted 3. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think is next? What do you want to see?
Well, I don't know.
Jack and Daxter.
Yes. We sorely need a Jack and Daxter game in the next generation.
And maybe a new Ratchet and Clank proper.
Yeah, I agree there, too.
We've seen a lot of those, so I could go a little bit longer. And we haven't really... It's not over yet. They haven't run their course. Let's get to Uncharted 3. Let's get through the holiday. Then we'll talk.
Well it's nice. We could still see brand new IP. I mean, I know a lot of them are thinking at this point, well, let's hold it off until the PS4. But God of War came out late in the PS2 life cycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, good point.
There's always the chance that some spectacular IP is going to come along in the last couple of years of the PS3 life cycle, right?
Yeah, good point.
I honestly think we're going to see a God of War announced next year. It's not going to be Kratos, though.
It's got Twisted Metal around the corner, too, don't forget.
True.
So we've got some in spring yet.
And we got Starhawk coming, which is, essentially in the Warhawk universe, essentially. Resistance 3, I mean, they could do so much with that because, even though they've kind of filled in the gaps with Resistance 3 or Resistance on the PSP, and we're going to have the new one on the Vita, which, I mean, you say it's run its course, but, there are all those side stories that can take place on different platforms. Uncharted, I mean, there's all those rumors around that they're going to have either some beefy DLC with just more adventures. I mean, Nathan Drake, a lot of the stuff really doesn't have to rely on itself. You've got that core set of characters. You've got other ones that come in. It's like the Indiana Jones series, except for Crystal Skull. And which I didn't mind Crystal Skull anyway. But Uncharted's one of those that you can just keep going because it's a serial. it's a pulp comic, and all those pulp comics were the same thing. They had a central character, and you just had all these adventures.
Well, and the great thing is, the actors don't actually get old, on screen.
Well, yeah, the actors themselves get old, but
yeah. But as long as their voices are there. I'm sorry, that email was from Michael Morris. I didn't want to miss that. I didn't mention that earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do I want to see, though? I mean, I think you're going to see a big improvement in MLB this year. I also, like I said, nobody's said anything, but I'm pretty damn sure we're going to see an MLB 12, the show, on Vita. And just seeing that interaction between the two platforms, I think, is going to be key. Just like Ruin and just like some other titles that are coming out, just being able to take that game you're playing on the PS3 on the go on the Vita, and it's essentially that same experience. I think we're going to see a Killzone 4 probably announced by the end of next year. I personally, it's funny that we were talking about last week, I do think that we're going to see a Killzone remake, HD remake.
I would love to see that. Yeah. Killzone and Killzone Liberation on one disc.
And actually, I think it'd be cool if they brought Liberation into the 3D, into the first person, and you could play co-op, because it's a co-op game anyway. Bring that whole story. I mean, because that's in the canon, that's in the lore, and in the storyline.
Right into two.
Oh my God, bring that into the 3D engine that they have. Shit, that'd be awesome. Just saying.
That would be pretty
Killzone
badass.
Collection with Killzone Liberation, and yeah.
Well, Sony's positioned themselves for a nice holiday. And people are, if you're in the market, or parents are in the market for their kids for a new console, you stack up the PS3 next to the Xbox 360 and just kind of do the checklist on which games you can get for which. And because of all of these releases this year and the upcoming Uncharted 3, they're stacking up pretty well, and I think that was their intention. Yeah. They had a really good year. I get what you're saying. It sort of seems like they've blown their wad, but I think that's just the timing of these releases is intentional, and it's just gearing up for a hell of a holiday. Once the holiday is over, I'm sure we'll be in line for some big announcements. I was just thinking about my Xbox 360 recently. Yeah. What have they got? When you look into the future of what's next, talk about a barren and desolate looking land. There's nothing. Now that Gears 3 is out, what else is there? I mean, you're looking for
Forza 4.
Oh yeah, that comes out this week.
Came out today,
then
I
what?
think, didn't it?
Then what?
A new Alan Wake,
maybe.
A new Alan Wake would be cool, but I either way, I'm getting the Halo remake.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the same thing as a God of War remake. I enjoyed the first one.
I just don't like the first Halo single player, though, because you literally get to that point and you turn around and go back the fucking way you came.
I liked it.
Oh, God.
I liked it. So I'm going to get it. I'm really interested to see that remake. I love those HD remakes, and that's one I think will be great. The game is what it is.
But if you want the HD remake, get the PC version today.
I don't play PC games.
Just saying, because the PC version had up-res textures and all the, everything. That's what I played on.
Didn't it have multiplayer too?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first Xbox version had multiplayer, but it was only LAN.
No, I mean online multiplayer. Yeah. The PC version.
But this is not just up-res textures. There's a lot more to this one than just up-res textures. So
I don't know.
With all the games we've got coming out right now, I mean, sure, I'm with you. I like an HD remake. But do I need to see every frickin' game remade in HD? Do I really need that? I mean, when am I ever going to sit down and play the games that have come out that are new games? I'm so busy trying to catch up on everything and all these HD remakes that I'm starting to get a little frustrated. It's like, quit going backwards. Let's we get it. We've got some great collections to catch up on. Now go forward again.
No, I still want a Ratchet and Clank series remake HD.
I think that's probably the only one, and maybe some Jack games, but I like the ones we've had so far, though, and it does seem like we're getting a lot because you see, the Splinter Cell collection, which honestly isn't that great of an upconvert, and you're seeing the Halo remake and some other stuff, but like the God of War remakes that we've had, and especially the Eco and Shadow of the Colossus collection, I think those are perfect. I really, and even the Sly collection, which I think is just wow. So I like that they're picking and choosing some great titles that fit into this HD remake kind of slot that's out there right now. And the pricing is right. I mean, when it works really well. But, like I said, I was watching those Splinter Cell games, and I didn't really think they were that great.
Well, that's the thing. It depends on where they spend the money. Are they actually going to do a full proper... And Sony has done with theirs, obviously, with the Sly Collection, with God of War and Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. They've spent the money, and they've actually done it right. And Splinter Cell, not so much.
Well, look at what Resident Evil has done, and I think this is they should be applauded for this. You can now get every Resident Evil game for the most part, except for those goofy offshoots they've had, on the PS3. You can download the PS1 games.
Sure.
They've got now the Dreamcast one. They've got 4, and obviously 5 has come out native to the platform. If I want to play the Resident Evil franchise from beginning to end, I can play all of those games on my PS3 without the need for an HD remake. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, the Resident Evil 1 game is really dated and hard to play now, but it's there, and if I want the full experience, I can have it. I think something should be said for that approach just as well as the other approach, which is let's make another $1 off these games. Let's up-res them.
Yeah. Tell you what I want to see next, though, and we keep telling them every time we talk to them, a new War of the Monsters.
Where's that cricket sound?
Cue the cricket.
War of the Monsters? You never played it?
No, I didn't play that one.
Oh, this is from the people that did Warhawk and everything. This is Dylan Job. And
really?
it was a monster. It was basically a fighting game, but like a 3D Rampage. Think of that.
What was that on?
PS2.
Was it?
Yeah.
I remember playing all the Godzilla games around that same time, but I never.
Oh man, War of the
Those
Monsters
Godzilla games
fantastic.
were horrible.
Never played it.
Oh, War of the Monsters. It had a little bit of a camera issue every now and then, but overall, just a fantastic game, and like real-time destruction and everything on the PS2. Very high-res graphics for the time. Just a sweet game.
Can't
believe you guys don't know about that.
You want to take the next email? It's about near functionality.
Yeah, sure. This is from Remy goes Summersluck. He goes by PSN ID Seerek, Seerek. Oh yeah, Remy at the bottom. Okay, well, hey guys, I'm listening to your podcast 236 right now, and your debate about PS Vita Wi-Fi or 3G. I think you missed one important point. Isn't that GPS is required to use the near functionality? I think this functionality will be useful mainly for my school-age kids, but even I'm curious which of my neighbors are playing games like me. Regards, Remy. GPS and 3G are completely different, though. GPS just gets coordinates, and you don't need 3G functionality to use near, because near works with your Wi-Fi as well, because it'll see that Wi-Fi signal out there. Now, if you're on 3G, I think it'll be a little bit better because you'll get a longer range, but you don't have to have 3G for the near stuff to work.
But if you're out at school or if you're out around somewhere, Wi-Fi isn't going to do you any good.
Well, you got to remember, Wi-Fi is not just looking for an access point. Wi-Fi could see another device out there if you're close enough. I don't know what the range is on these things either. But, I mean, Wi-Fi range is pretty good. So if there's somebody else in the school there, it can link up with the coordinates in GPS. It just won't give you that fancy map sometimes.
Yeah, the 3DS, similar technology. You don't have to have, it doesn't even have 3G.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're just near somebody who has a 3DS with the Street Pass thing, it still recognizes and gives you the content there.
Yeah. GPS is just a triangulation.
Without the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's not, the Wi-Fi's off, and I'm still catching some of that stuff.
Well, the Wi-Fi's off, but they leave a little transmitter basically on all the time.
Oh, sure.
And that's how that stuff works. But it's just using wireless technology.
Not on a network, I guess.
Right.
Not accessing.
So what you'll get if you have 3G and you use the GPS stuff is that it'll be able to connect up and actually pull map data down. But no matter what, GPS coordinates are GPS coordinates. It doesn't matter if you have Wi-Fi or anything. I mean, if you look in your car doesn't have Wi-Fi. Well, it might. But usually your car doesn't have Wi-Fi. Your little GPS, all that it is your GPS has coordinates, latitude and longitude. And it basically internally syncs itself up with map data, usually from a company called Navtech. The thing about it is, I don't know if they're storing all that map data on the Vita, like in the ROM somewhere. I really highly doubt it. So I think that's the only benefit you'll get is with 3G, it'll be able to pull some of that stuff down, like when you use Google Maps on your phone compared to like just a standard GPS. It'll work better with 3G, though. I do agree. Or at least theoretically it would. All right. Joel?
Last email. This one's from Conrad Lawrence. As a latecomer to this generation in online gaming, I missed out on the glory days of Warhawk. Now, with the imminent arrival of Starhawk, I'm thinking about getting Warhawk more than ever. My question is, are there enough people still playing to make it worthwhile? And how difficult is it for a noob against veteran players as far as weapon selection goes? Love the show, blah, 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 blah. His PSN is Shiki-Khan. That's SHIKI _CON.
Shiki-Khan.
Shiki-Khan. Yeah, there's a lot of people still playing Warhawk. At least I've never had a problem finding people.
Nope, never had a problem finding a game.
Yeah, the trick is, though, you need to find people that you know.
Yeah. Well,
at least to start off with.
There are some decent servers out there still, because if you go to one of the official servers, which comes up in the server browser as blue, those are usually the good places to start.
Yeah, those also put limits. You have to find the servers that have... What they'll do is they'll put limit on what your rank can be.
Yeah.
To play on that server, and you want to go to the lower ranks, obviously. But the way we always did it through VGevo, now Retroids.com, there was a Warhawk Wednesday night, and everybody would get together. But even if you're on there, you could find some people on there and just say, hey, I want to play some Warhawk tonight. Is anybody interested? You guys set up your own private server. There's no pressure. Everybody's usually just having fun with it. And especially with new players. When we used to play that every Wednesday night, new players would come in and nobody would pick on them. We'd help them out and get them going. And after a couple of rounds, they'd sort of get their feet wet and get into it. And, it wasn't always gang up on the guy that sucks. When you have a group of friends or a group of people that you sort of know, it's much easier to get into a game like that.
Dogpile on the rabbit. Dogpile on the rabbit.
Exactly. But that's what you want to look for, really, because if you're not playing it that way, if you're just jumping into some of those matches, it can be frustrating pretty quick.
Yeah, that's why no matter what, on Saturday during Extra Life, when we play Warhawk, we're going to have a password-protected server. So it's just going to be our community on there. We're not going to let random jerk-offs get in there. And then he asked about the weapons and everything. The cool thing about Warhawk is you have all the weapons available to you right away because they're pickups. So what you earn through rank upgrades and everything else is actually just like clothing and paint jobs on your Warhawk, that kind of thing. So you have all the weapons available to you just like anybody that's a general or above. I think it's still worth it. I think it's a great game. But honestly, when Starhawk comes out, I don't know how many people are still going to be playing it except for the diehards that get all pissed off because Starhawk's not the same. It doesn't play the same. But the great thing about Warhawk is no matter what, even if they take the main servers offline, you're still going to be able to play because you can set up your own server. You can even set up your own dedicated server on a PS3. You can't play the game on that PS3. Yeah, it's one of the coolest designs ever.
Yeah.
So, and you can get it dirt cheap right now. I mean, it's really ridiculous how cheap it is. I think you can
use the wrench. Don't forget to use the wrench.
Hell yeah!
You guys have mentioned that on prior shows. If you don't remember, just pick up the wrench and go at it. It does more. It does more than repair vehicles.
And mines.
I love my mines. I'm a mine whore. I'll be the first one to admit it. I am a mine whore and a rocket whore. Yeah, the great thing about the game is it's a lot like the Battlefield series on the PC. Is that you can play the game the way you want it. You can fly all the time. You can be on defense all the time. You can play whatever modes, like capture the flag or zones or whatever else. But it's very diverse, and you seriously can play it the way you want to, that's what I really love about it.
Yeah, you can spend like the whole time on the ground before you even get into flight. And then once you get in flight, it's like, holy shit, there's a whole other game up here.
Yeah, I never fly.
Controls and pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, let's give you some information before we get to the Extra Life update. A lot of different ways you can contact us, and we really appreciate when you do. We got some cool stuff this week as well, but You can email us at podcast@psnation.org, or if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can dial 715-502-9773. Or if you have Skype, you can just call WDT-Torgo. Very easy to use. Also, if you go over to psnation.org, go to the right side, way down at the bottom, you'll see a Contact Us area. Allows you to put your phone number in. It'll call you, so you can leave us a voicemail, or you can hit the Contact Us button there to send us an email that way as well. Don't forget to check out our forums over on Retroids.com, along with all of our brothers and sisters in the Retroids Podcast Network. But that is our official forums over there. Don't forget to look for us on Facebook. Just type in PS Nation, and you can find our Facebook group over there and join up with us on all the crazy crap going on over there. Like I said, on Twitter, you can check out at 5spotjoel, at PJFJosh. I got to write these down. And at PS3Nation, of course. Check us out on Stitcher.com. If you have the Stitcher app for one of your mobile devices, we're on there in the PS3 section. Or if you have an iPad, an iPod Touch, or an iPhone, for 99 cents in the App Store, you can look up Furious Gamer and grab that app as well. It's 99 cents, very cheap, and you get a bunch of different gaming podcasts streaming. You can do a search on a certain game, and it'll show you every podcast and where they're talking about that game. Bookmark stuff, it's really cool. Don't forget our awesome sponsors who have helped us pay for our hosting. You go over to audiblepodcast.com/PSNation. You sign up for the 14-day free trial. Over 85,000 audiobooks available to you. And, if you don't like it, you get a free book out of the deal when you sign up through audiblepodcast.com/PSNation. If you decide to quit before the 14 days is up, you get to keep that book, yo. And even if you quit before 14 days is up, still helps us. It takes a couple of minutes to sign up. It helps us pay for our hosting cost and our shipping costs for all this stuff for Extra Life, which were over 100 prizes, way over 100 prizes. So there goes that whole quality over quantity thing, because now it's just pretty much all quality and quantity. So check that out, audiblepodcast.com/PSNation. So let's talk some Extra Life. It is happening in mere days, yo. October 15th, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. For 24 hours, we are going to be playing video games online, streaming it live over on Twitch TV/PSNation. So it's twitch.tv/PSNation. Get over there, sign up so you can chat with us on the chat box. Or if you want to go over to psnation.org, hit the big Extra Life, the big blue banner on the right side. That'll show you all the raffle prizes we got available to you. That'll show you the video stream, not just for us, but our brothers on the Retroids North team down at Welcome to the Goo, which is down in Milwaukee. So you got 2 video streams to watch, live chat the entire time. You'll be able to hear what we're saying because we're going to have the microphones all over the room. And you can sit there and chat with us, and we're going to have Skype set up. We might take some calls every now and then. We're going to hook Joel in because he's staying home that weekend, and we're going to hook Joel in for a while and talk to him. Josh, we really don't care. He's at a Comic-Con thing or something.
Yeah, seriously.
Whatever, nerd.
Guys.
Nerd.
We're actually projecting at my house. Bill's coming over, one of the writers. He's going to hang out with me for a while. We're going to do the whole chat thing on the wall with the projector, which was really cool. Sweet. And then I'll be on Skype the whole time whenever you're doing it. Awesome. But I'll see the chat and be able to participate that way.
Yeah, and a lot of people are asking things about the raffle, so I want to give some kind of just quick and fast things about the raffle. Don't overthink it, folks. If you hit the donate button, you're going to be taken over to the Extra Life page. You're actually going to be on our Extra Life page. When you donate money, we don't touch it. We never see it. It goes directly to Children's Miracle Network. We actually get a list of all the people that donate and what they donated. So we're the ones that take care of the raffle tickets after the fact. You can get raffle tickets until 10 p.m. Sunday night, the 16th, Central Standard Time. That's also when the person will be decided on who wins that fighting stick. So whoever is the individual that has donated the most money for this event by 10 o'clock Central Standard Time that night on the 16th, that will be the winner of this custom-built fighting stick that the Gamers Only Older guys are supplying and actually building. We've seen the designs. We were supposed to have some pictures already, but I think he's gotten delayed. But we will have pictures up as soon as possible. I've also put some pictures up on the page of some of the other prizes as well. We've also had some late additions to the prize list, and actually I think we're going to have a couple more maybe that day. But raffle-wise, you're eligible no matter what. If you put at least $10 in, you get a raffle ticket. The entire list is over on our page at psnation.org. If you go to that event page, if you decide, like we've already had one person who donated a certain amount earlier on today, and then he donated another amount later on in the day, it's cumulative. So if you decide that you're going to do that, if you're going for that fighting stick or whatever, that all counts toward the one total. So it's not like you have one ticket here and one ticket there because you did, $10 each or 10 and 15. You'll get the tickets for the $25, that kind of thing. So, like I said, we don't touch the money. It's 100% goes to the charity. Nothing goes to administrative costs. Nothing. All goes to the charity, and we don't touch it. It has nothing to do with us. And they do take checks. I think there's instructions on the page if you need to send a check in. They've made it really easy to donate this year. And the other cool thing is they've got a little comment section there if you want to leave us a note or whatever else. We appreciate it. We love seeing the notes. We've got such awesome people in our community. We're at, I think, 29% of our goal already.
Jeez, I keep seeing all the updates as far as all the donations we're getting. I didn't realize we're climbing up that high already. 29%.
It got a little crazy today. We had a few come in like right in a row. So the cool thing is, our goal is 12,500. Last year we raised around 11,200 just for at the time VG Evo North. So we upped the goal, and it wasn't actually that big of a bump. We went up to 12.5, and honestly, this community already proved that it's seriously the best out there. I mean, we stomped everybody last year. So I know we can do this again this year. It's for a great cause. It's for sick kids. So why wouldn't it be worth it? But yeah, we're at 29% of our goal right now, and we need more help. So not only here, but also we need people to join us on that 24-hour period to get out there and play games with us and talk to us and keep us freaking awake. So we hope everybody heads over there and helps us out.
A lot of tweeting, I think, as far as what we're going to be playing. Of course, you can join the chat box as well. Keep track there. But I'll probably fire off a tweet every time I switch into something and are looking for people to play with, just because it's going to be hard to coordinate and keep everybody abreast of what's going on.
Yeah, and for those asking like what we're going to play, we always make up these big lists every year, and we never stick to it. Like 2 years ago, I had this grand idea that I was going to do this. We ended up playing Uncharted 2 online for like 13 hours. It just happens. So generally, I definitely want to play some Gran Turismo 5 online. The huge update that just came out today, I definitely want to play that. And also, I just haven't played that game enough lately, and I really want to play it. I'm sure there's going to be some Uncharted 3 play, because that's free. Go to Subway and get a code. It's free. Killzone 3, we're definitely going to play. Maybe some Bad Company 2, I don't know. But if people have ideas, that's great. Get them out there to us. We're definitely going to be playing some Warhawk for at least 2 hours. Are we going to do the $10 thing to get a password into Warhawk?
I think we should. We should. I think we should.
I think we should.
See, like last year, I was going to play at second, and I didn't. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had a lot of people donate already, so we need to handle them too. Luckily, I can verify email addresses really quick. So if you've already donated at least $10, which anybody that's donated has done at least $10, I think there might be one that's not, but if you've donated at least $10 already, and you want to play Warhawk with us, please send an email to podcast@psnation.org and just say, I want to play Warhawk with you. Please send me the password. We can verify your email address against the list, and we'll be set to go. Obviously, if we have more people than we can handle, maybe we'll have Josh set up a second server or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait until Josh is home that night.
Well, I could actually set up a server and just leave it running.
That's true.
Yeah, with your internet, that would probably be pretty helpful.
Yeah, because I can always set up a second one here.
But you guys should definitely, in those emails, make the subject line Warhawk for Extra Life.
Yes.
So that they're much easier to find.
Well, we'll set up a filter for that, so it'll just filter right to us. So let's do that. You have to donate $10 to play Warhawk with us, and send us an email when you do that, or you can put it in the actually just send us an email, because if you put it in the comments, we might miss it. So please send an email to podcast@psnation.org after you've made your donation. And let us know, and we will email you the password. We ask that, of course, you please don't give that to anybody else, because, come on, this is for the kids. So let's do that. And if we need be, we'll get somebody else to set up a server, and we'll get some servers going and play some freaking Warhawk, yo. I think that'll be, man, that's going to be the time of our life, I think. I think that's going to be the one that's going to really get us. So let's go over really quick. We got some new prizes, and holy crap. We actually just got one prize added at the last minute here on IM. We just don't know how many, but something added. I came home 2 nights ago, or was it last night, and there were all these boxes blocking my back door, like 4 feet high. Sony sent a ton of those awesome Killzone 3 Hellgast editions. So we now have a total of 12 Killzone 3 limited edition. You can only get these from Sony. These are not the ones you buy in the store. They're similar, but there's one very, very unique difference, and that is the eyes on the helmet. Yeah, they light up, and you can't buy these in stores at all. So we've got 12 of those now. We did confirm that we're getting the Astro Gaming A40 wireless headphone set. That's over $300 right there, folks. That's going to be one of the raffle prizes. All these awesome action figures that Scott Rhodey and Christopher Phillips sent over. Sony wireless headset. Oh my God, we got so much more here. A bunch of Starhawk promotional T-shirts from PAX. They're very hard to find. An Uncharted 3 Collector's Edition, but a little bit of a difference. It's signed. That's right. So you're not only getting the most awesome Uncharted 3 Collector's Edition, which I want badly. It's going to be signed.
Is it signed by IGN or from the folks behind the game?
No.
I just want to clarify so people know what they're potentially
signed by
to win.
at least somebody at Naughty Dog. I don't even know who's signing it, but I think it's the whole Naughty Dog team, I believe.
It's not signed by us.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not signed by us. We promise we won't. Well, maybe on the no. We won't even initial it. This other thing, this is the one that threw me. We got a big box of PlayStation Home baseball caps. I was like, oh, these are really nice. They're very well made. And all of a sudden, next morning, I was looking at another one and I noticed something in the brim of the hat, and that is each one of these hats, and we have 21 of them. Each one of these hats has this mega voucher in there worth over $120 worth of PlayStation Home items. Wow. And we're going to have a couple more of these cards to give away as well. 4 EA Sports Ultimate Packs with Tiger Woods 12, Madden 12, NCAA Football 12, NHL 12, and Fight Night. 2 packs are for PS3, 2 are for 360, courtesy of EA Sports. Wow. There's actually a picture of all that stuff up on the page right now. 2 PlayStation Move Sharpshooters, courtesy of Mr. Damon Bullis. Vouchers for all these RPGs that the guys over at RP Gamer got us. Smallville, Leverage, Dragon Fantasy, which is like an iTunes app or an iTunes game for like your iPhone. 5 codes for Chantalise on Steam. 5 codes for Bastion on the PSC off of Steam. And you'll also get a voucher for the soundtrack for that game. And also 5 vouchers just for the soundtrack for Bastion. We got these Rage and these Prey 2 promotional T-shirts. We're gonna bundle those. So when you win the thing from Bethesda here, you're gonna get one of each of the shirts. So you're gonna get a Rage shirt and a Prey 2 shirt. Also from our listener Craig Lease, holy fuck, he donated 5 $20 PSN cards.
Oh, very nice.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Holy crap. And then Xseed, again, our friends over at RP Gamer, just doing some big-time work here. An East shirt, East 7 shirt, East 1 and 2 soundtrack, East the Oath and Felgana soundtrack, East 7 soundtrack, East Oath and Felgana calendar, and an East 7 art book is one. Also a full 3-game pack with East 1 and 2 for PSP, East the Oath and Felgana for PSP, and East 7 for PSP. Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky for PSP, Lunar, Silver Star Harmony for PSP, Flower, Sun, and Rain for the DS, and then NIS America throws in. We've got a Prinny plushie, a Disgaea 4 figure box, including all 9 figurines, and a Prinny T-shirt with the Japanese T-shirt. So it's some weird design. I haven't even seen it yet. And then Z-Boy Games, also from RP Gamer, sent over 2 Steam codes for Cthulhu and or it's like Cthulhu / Breath of Death. What is that? 7 or 12? Which one's which? 7. Took me a minute. I haven't done Roman.
I thought you were asking us some RPG advice, not actually needing someone to help you with Roman numerals.
RP Gamer also threw in, I don't even know what this is, an Archie, ARCHE action figure, and there's a link to the picture for it from Tales of Fantasia, and then let's do the last but not least. Damon Bullis sent over this big fucking box, and it's Tony Hawk Shred bundle for PS3.
Oh man.
This box, I'm not even opening the box. It's going right back out in the box that it came in. And then last but not least, this just got added. We don't know how many we're going to have, but we are going to have multiples. And it might be a couple of weeks before we have them because this gentleman is very, very busy at the moment. But just got an IM from David Jaffe before we started podcasting tonight, and he is supplying. Actually, Eatsley Play is supplying a bunch of the Sweet Tooth figurines, and they're all going to be signed. So at least David Jaffe's signing them. I think Scott's going to sign them, and I think maybe the rest of the team's going to sign them. So we don't know who's going to sign them yet or what, but he told me we are 100% in on this. You're definitely getting some stuff. He just has to wait until he gets to Utah next week to figure it out. So, yeah, signed Sweet Tooth action figures. Fuck yeah. And these action figures, I have one. Joel got one for me. Mm-hmm. They're fucking awesome. They're really cool. So,
the guys at Toys R Us sign it too, which makes it a little bit more collectible.
Well, yeah, especially if it's that one dude with the glasses.
Oh yeah,
that makes it priceless.
He's in high demand.
Definitely. So I think we also may have some Battlefield 3 stuff on the way. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Ian yet, but I believe he's back from Sweden now. But they did talk about throwing some stuff into the loop as well. So you might see some late additions to this prize list, even up to the last day or even beyond. So, oh God, I said it. Also want to thank the guys over at IGN for helping us out and mentioning this. So if we have any new people tonight, thanks very much to the IGN guys. We really appreciate the help. And we didn't think we were going to have this many prizes this year, and everybody really went out of their way. So thanks so much to everybody that threw those in. You guys got anything else?
Yeah, I want to talk through some of the games I'm going to be playing. You mentioned a lot that you're playing. Renegade Ops, I'm hoping to get some multiplayer. The new Dead Nation DLC is going to be. Play that. Infamous 2. DC Universe Online. Show me the ropes. I'm going to check that out. Super Stardust HD, we're going to be doing a score chase with the Goo Crew at midnight. So smack dab in the middle of the event when we're all in prime form, we're going to get up on Super Stardust HD and compete with Adam's amazingly high score and growing. Holy shit, that's going to be tough.
What's the score right now?
It's insane. I don't know. Last time I saw it, I was like, oh, crap.
Has he beaten my score?
I don't know. He's getting up there. But if you want to join in, just do some score chasing with us. That'll be fun. Yeah. NBA 2K12, be doing the review soon, so be playing a heck out of that. Of course, Uncharted 3 multiplayer beta. MotorStorm Apocalypse, lots of multiplayer there.
Nice.
And you know what we should do? It's been a while. I don't think we did it last year, but the game I don't want to play, so in the middle of the event at some point.
Somebody mentioned that in Twitter today, I think.
Well, I got a couple.
Do this. Okay.
Bleach, Soul Resurrection.
What?
Remember that one?
Bleach Soul? I don't remember that one at all.
With the spelling? Resurrection?
Yeah.
With you don't remember?
You have that?
Still have that.
Oh, man.
Yes. So we've got to play that. So I figured, here's a good chance. And then the other game, Cabela's North American Adventures.
That's right.
Donate
you
some
and I
money
both have
to play
that, don't we?
We do. We should get some multiplayer going.
You can play online co-op in that. That's
Ooh,
right.
We're taking down Bucks.
Fuck yeah. I'm in. It doesn't support Move, though. It sucks.
That's all right. NBA Jam on Fire edition.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the game I've been meaning to play, I've never gotten around to. Finally, going to be pulling that one out and checking that out, too. So I think there's some online to that as well.
Yeah, you know what? I've never played the online, so if you do that, let me know. I'd like to play that online.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So look for us.
Games,
watch the chat. Watch the Twitters. We'll be around. I want to play some games with people.
Any plans, Josh?
I can't make plans. I don't know when I'm going to be back from Comic-Con each day.
Right.
But I'm going to try to get on sometime late Saturday night whenever I'm back and punish all of you.
I thought you said you were going to be wasted, too. Isn't that the plan?
Oh, God. If that's the case, we're definitely getting you on Skype. See, it's cool because the software I use to broadcast, it has a thing where you can actually integrate Skype in. So I can talk to you, it'll broadcast on the video and everything, so we can have Joel and you on Skype, and it'll actually go over the stream and everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
cool.
So we'll definitely have to hook you up as well. Oh, man, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to play, though. I actually put together this big plastic shelving unit that I have for the garage, and I'm gonna put that out by us, and I'm taking every PS3 game I have, and I'm gonna put it on that shelving, and if anybody wants to play anything that we have here, we're set. I know that Paul, my buddy Paul, that goes by Steel on the PSN, or WDT Steel, I believe. He's one of my old Battlefield buddies. he's going to be playing Uncharted 2. He wants to play all the way through Uncharted 2 that day because he hasn't played it yet. So nice. I know that's going to be going on, and who knows? But I don't know what Cracker Jack and 9 Volt are planning, but it should be funny, if nothing else.
Want some rapping? I want to repeat from last year.
That's what I said. You know what the problem is? They rented that game last year from GameFly.
Well, rent it again. Come on, Dane. Make big bucks at the Wiener plant. Hook that shit up.
Use some of your Wiener bucks.
Come on, man. In all seriousness, that was hilarious, and it really kind of made the money. So, please, Cracker Jack, please, I'm begging you.
Yeah.
We'll pick that up.
Please, please, please. All right, we've talked long enough. Our thanks once again to Mr. Stewart Gilray for coming on and joining us. It was great having you on for almost the whole show, sir. It's just a treat to talk to him, and I could go for hours with that guy. So thanks very much. Hopefully you like some of the Oddworld news that you got. I think we got a couple nuggets that he probably wasn't supposed to tell us, but oh well. And because one of them I went, really? You can tell us that? Yeah, Extra Life. Finally, the culmination of all this work. October 15th, like I said, you're eligible for raffle tickets until 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 16th. You can definitely still donate after the fact if you want to, but yeah, the raffle stops then, and also the amounts, like the highest amount for the Fighting Six stops then too. So, and also the drawing we're planning on doing the weekend after. It'll be the Sunday after. I think it's like the 23rd maybe. It'll be on our our Twitch.tv account, and you can definitely join us over there. And it'll be recorded automatically, so we'll have recorded video for those of you that miss it. So that's about it. Let's get the hell out of here. We'll talk to you again very soon. Hopefully you hang out with us on Saturday. The more the merrier. Seriously, the more the merrier. Get over there and help us out, and join in with us on this great cause and help out some sick children. And just make their lives a little bit better for a little while they're in the hospital. Until next week, we will talk to you. Get out there, play some games. Have a great one. Go Extra Life. Get out there. Donate, folks. Donate.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
No, you know what I'm going to do? Fuck all this comedy shit. You know I'm going to make my million? I'm going to come up with some sort of piece of shit that I can sell late at night for like $19.95. Because people will buy anything. Like those George Foreman grills. He sold a zillion of those. George Foreman is a boxer. What the fuck does he know about cooking? Nothing. He's always talking about all the grease and the saturated fat. It's like, George, you're fat. You're not using it. You know what I mean? And people are like, no, it's George Foreman. He lost to Muhammad Ali, and now he's selling grills. Well, I'll take one. That makes a lot of sense. People will buy anything. I'll tell you the best scam I ever saw in my life. You ever see the one with the dude selling the quarters? You ever seen that shit? This dude is selling quarters. How the fuck do you sell a quarter? It's a quarter. But the dude hypes it all up. You know, these are limited edition minted quarters. We give you a book. You can stick them in the book. Then he starts like yelling to me, this is unbelievable. You get a book. We're going to put a quarter in. We're going to add another quarter. This is unbelievable. That's 2 quarters and a book. That's a 50-cent value for only $19.95. People, we only have 7 left. They always got like the number in the corner, that bogus number is just like going down. Just to scare all the rednecks, like, holy shit, they only got 7 left. Honey, get the card. I'm going to dial the number. Hurry.